homes as far as the Chinese nationals are concerned, and this is an illegal homestay that has been asked to register with the concerned department.
Absolutely, Zina. Thank you for getting us these details. We'll be tracking this story very, very closely. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to slip our focus into some other stories that are making headlines from across the country in Bharat in 2 minutes. A massive fire broke out at the irrigation factory in Jalgaon's MITC area. Officials confirmed the blaze, which spread rapidly due to plastic materials, has now been brought under control with no casualties reported. 3 people dead, 13 injured in the collision between a car and a tractor near Ayodhya. 4 injured patients admitted in the hospital are said to be in a stable condition. The victims belong to Madhya Pradesh's Rewa district. Two cops were suspended for alleged negligence in the investigation into last year's Porsche car crash that have been dismissed from the service now. A Porsche car allegedly driven by a 17-year-old boy in an inebriated condition had fatally run over 2 techies on a motorcycle in Pune last year. A major fire broke out at a 6-story commercial building and the offices of SBI. After continuous efforts of nearly 24 hours, the firefighters, NDRF, SDRF teams, assisted by teams from Guwahati refinery, doused the flames and brought the situation under control. Fortunately, no casualties have been reported so far. Another fire erupted at a multi-story building in Sadar Bazaar, prompting response from Delhi Fire Services. The blaze swept through storage units for polythene and plastic bottles. Firefighters dispatched multiple water tenders, eventually controlling the flames. Authorities have confirmed that no casualties or injuries have been reported, and the cause of the fire is currently under investigation. All right, time to slip into a very, very short break. On the other side, Delhi court to resume hearing Luthra's anticipatory bail plea this afternoon.
सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला।
भाई मेरा बेटी को प्यार चाहिए मेरा बेटी का ब्लड आ रहा ब्लड नीचे से ब्लड आ रहा प्यार चाहिए दे दो। क्यों नहीं कर सकता क्यों नहीं कर सकता क्यों नहीं कर सकता मेरे को प्यार चाहिए अभी।
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, time for us to slip into another short break, getting to the details of the plea, the anticipatory bail plea that has been filed by the Luthra brothers in the Rohini court.
MDH की देगी मीरज
देगी मिर्च का तड़का अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मीरज केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला।
from Asia's largest news headquarters. Setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Live and Breaking at 3 p.m. I am Tanisha Avasthi, and the top story that we're tracking on this edition of Live and Breaking is, of course, about the Luthra brothers. The brothers who had fled after their negligence had killed 25 people. They have now been nabbed, have been apprehended. They are currently in Thai police's custody. And how is India initiating the process with the Thailand authorities to get them back to India? We're going to tell you all that and much more. But first, a quick check of the headlines. It's endgame for the Luthra brothers. The duo has been detained in Thailand by the Royal Thai Police. First pictures on Republic. Passports suspended, duo detained. Luthra brothers' deportation process has now been initiated from Thailand. Delhi court has resumed the hearing. The bail plea of the Luthras' anticipatory bail application this afternoon. All eyes are on the order.
देश भर में ई सिगरेट बैन हो चुकी है। क्या सदन में आपने अलाउ कर दी है?
नहीं, कोई माननीय सदस्य को कोई भी
सर टीएमसी के सांसद पी रहे हैं सर टीएमसी के सांसद सर कई दिनों से लगातार बैठ के पी रहे हैं सर।
Amid the winter session, e-cigarette scandal breaks out inside the parliament. BJP MP Anurag Thakur accuses the TMC MP of smoking an e-cigarette in Lok Sabha. United States delegation arrives at the Ministry of Commerce and Industry in the national capital for trade talks. Ladies and gentlemen, we start this edition with some big breaking news that's coming in, and this is not very good news for India, where we learned that the Indian rupee has now hit a record low. The central bank is likely to intervene to limit the losses. The Indian rupee has slipped to a record low on Thursday, that is today, deepening its slide past the 90 per dollar mark as the absence of a trade deal with the United States continued to weigh and cooperate dollar outflows added to the pressure. The rupee weakened to 90.4675 against the United States dollar, eclipsing its previous all-time low of 90.42 hit on December 4th. All right, on that note, I'm joined by Pranav from the digital newsroom. Pranav, what could be the possible reasons with rupee hitting another record low? It had first hit a low on December 4th and now another big development today on December 11th.
Well, Tanisha, this is just a continuation of the depreciation of rupee. If you see, in fact, the rupee had slipped below the 90 rupees per dollar mark just about a few days ago, and now we are seeing a fresh new 90.4675. If you just go to see, it's about a 5% decrease in just 2025, and it's in fact one of the third worst performing currencies among the top 7 currencies in the world in terms of dollar swap. So yes, there has been a depreciation, and the factors primarily are the uncertainty over the US-India trade deal, the Federal Open Market Committee decision yesterday wherein there was a rate cut announced, so which in turn in a longer sense also increases the demand for dollar, and that impacts the demand for rupee and in turn depreciates the rupee. And of course the third most important thing is the ongoing uncertainty over the Russia-Ukraine talks, as well as the India-US trade deal. Primarily the India-US trade deal are some of the reasons behind the depreciation of the rupee.
All right, Pranav, thank you very much for getting us those details. Quickly moving across to more breaking news that's coming in, the edition of this Live and Breaking, and this is from Pakistan. Now, the Pakistan general, the field general who had initiated the Taliban takeover has now been court-martialed. That's the latest breaking news that we are getting in from Pakistan. We learned that it was on August 12, 2024. Now, we learned that the process of field general court-martial was initiated against Mr. Faiz Hamid. He was the formerly Lieutenant General under provisions of Pakistan Army Act spreading over 15 months. Now, the accused in the case, this time it is Mr. Faiz Hamid, the formerly Lieutenant General, was tried on 4 charges related to engaging in political activities, violation of Official Secret Act detrimental to safety and interests of the state, misuse of authority and government resources and causing wrongful loss to the person. Gursimran, my colleague, is joining us live for more details on the story. Yes, Gursimran, take us through what it actually means for Pakistan.
Say it clearly means that the Pakistan Army's political vendetta against PTI and its loyalists is continuing, and this is now General Faiz Hamid, who was considered as one of the loyalists of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf and one of those who was instrumental in fall of Kabul to Taliban. We have seen that in the past also that the process of it was in 2024 only when the General Field Court-Martial proceedings were initiated against Faiz Hamid because he was considered as one of those close to Imran Khan. And now after all these 15 months, there was a trial that was going on, and now a 14-year-long rigorous punishment by the military court that is controlled by none other than the Pakistani Army, and its Field Marshal Asim Munir has sentenced him to 14 years of the rigorous punishment that will take place. This has been announced today itself by the Pakistani military court, which means that now, like Imran Khan, Faiz Hamid has also to be behind the bars, and it is very clear that the allegations that have been made, it was clear that he was involved in the political activities and the intentions of maligning the image of Pakistan and being a threat to the sovereignty of Pakistan. So all the allegations that in the last week press conference DG ISPR has made on PTI, similar are the allegations on the Faiz Hamid as well, the former Lieutenant General and the Chief of the ISI. Similar allegations, and he has been sentenced for the 14-year punishment, which means that political vendetta against PTI and its loyalists, it is going to continue in days to come, as Pakistan Army has taken a full charge of going to go full against the PTI and its loyalists in Pakistan.
Right, Gursimran, thank you very much for getting us those details. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, India's humanitarian mission in Sri Lanka after Cyclone Luthra has now entered a decisive phase. Now, the Indian Army's medical team operating under Operation Sagar Bandhu has treated more than 5,000 patients in just first 48 hours. Lieutenant Colonel Jagneet Gill, contingent of the commander of the Indian Army team deployed in Sri Lanka, underscores the collaborative nature of the mission and the shared commitment of both the nations. Take a look at this detailed report.
The first 48 hours after Cyclone Luthra caused destruction in Sri Lanka, Indian Army treated more than 5,000 patients. India's relief effort in Sri Lanka following Cyclone Luthra has moved into a critical stage now. Under Operation Sagar Bandhu, the Indian Army's medical contingent has already provided care to multiple people who were left injured. The Indian Army contingent, led by Lieutenant Colonel Jagneet Gill, set up a fully equipped mobile hospital in the flood-ravaged district of Trincomalee.
Well, the key facilities that were established by this hospital really depended on the fact that what were the facilities that were already available in this hospital. So the other hospital which has been non-functional, we were basically looking at facilities like the operation theatre, the dental section, the X-ray and the lab facilities. So we have been able to create these facilities. Other than that, we have also been able to create OPDs, which was the hour of the need. So we have been able to create the surgical OPD, the ortho OPD, the dental OPD, as well as family OPD. So we've been able to provide assistance to almost around 5,000, more than 5,000 patients.
The team's priority was to bring immediate, life-saving care to those cut off by the floods, as per Lieutenant Colonel Gill.
Well, the new age technology that we had employed this time was that we had surveillance drones, which were very, very important to find the layers of the hospital and really helped us to establish it much faster. The other was the HVAC tents, which were deployed to create OT in a minimum time And also, since the layout of the hospital required us that the labs and the facilities for blood collection were far apart, so we could actually use the logistic drones to carry out lab samples and blood samples to the labs, and we could actually enhance our speed and we could get results much faster.
Within 24 hours, the team upgraded a previously non-functional healthcare center. The Indian Army installed an operational theatre, digital X-ray and a fully stocked laboratory in the health center. In addition, they opened OPDs for surgery, dentistry and family health, ensuring a comprehensive package of care. This came as major boost and upgrade to the existing medical infrastructure in Sri Lanka. Cyclone Luthra made landfall on the eastern coast on 28 November, dumping more than 500 mm of rain in 48 hours. The resulting floods submerged 1.1 million hectares, which is roughly 20% of the island's landmass. 2.3 million people were directly exposed to waterborne hazards. The destruction was immense. $720,000 buildings were inundated, including 243 health facilities and hundreds of schools. In addition to the medical push, India dispatched 4 more naval vessels to deliver essential relief supplies. Food, water, medicines and shelter kits were provided. The vessels have also provided logistical support for the evacuation of vulnerable civilians.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the past few weeks, Indigo had been undergoing through a very, very rough patch. In fact, one of the worst aviation crises that India had seen. Now, today, we learned that the Indigo CEO, after issuing back-to-back apologies and statement, has now been summoned at the DGCA office in the national capital. Latest visuals also coming in there from Delhi, where the Indigo CEO Peter Elbus has been summoned. He is currently at the DGCA office in the national capital. Those are the visuals, exclusive visuals of the DGCA CEO being summoned. He has now reached the Indigo CEO, I beg your pardon, being summoned and reaching the DGCA office. He will be holding a meeting with the DGCA officials. Ladies and gentlemen, DGCA has always been off the fact that they have relaxed FDTL rules for Indigo, because it was one of the drawbacks and one of the reasoning that Indigo had given, because of which the crisis had happened. Chandrakala is joining us live on the broadcast. Chandrakala, what is expected to come out of the meeting? The Indigo CEO Peter Elbus is already there at the DGCA. What kind of negotiations or what kind of talks are going to take place there today?
The fact is that, after a very crucial review meeting that took place 2 days back, wherein, of course, the Civil Aviation Minister held a crucial meeting with the Indigo top management, wherein the Indigo CEO was also present. And today, once again, of course, the Indigo CEO, Peter Elbus, has been summoned by the...
All right, cutting across to some breaking news that's coming in. The BJP spokesperson is holding a press conference. Let's cut across to what he's speaking on.
जो जब संसद में रहते हैं, आमूमन नहीं रहते, आमूमन कहीं और चले जाते, उनका मन नहीं लगता, वंदे मातरम की डिबेट हो या शुभांशु शुक्ला जी की डिबेट हो, पर जब रहते हैं तब ये इकलौते ऐसे नेता प्रतिपक्ष रहे जिन्होंने प्रधानमंत्री के वक्तव्य के बीच सांसदों को इशारा करके वेल में घुसकर वहां पर डिस्टर्ब करने के लिए उत्साहित किया, प्रोत्साहित किया। तो आज सवाल यह बनता है कि क्या इतना सेंस ऑफ एंटाइटलमेंट है इन पार्टीज का कि वो लोकतंत्र के सबसे पवित्र भवन, सबसे पवित्र मंदिर को बार बार उसकी मर्यादा को, उसकी डिग्निटी को तार तार करने के लिए ड्रामा का इस्तेमाल करते हुए पार्लियामेंट में इस प्रकार के कृत्य करते हैं। और आज इस पर टीएमसी को साफ साफ जवाब देना चाहिए। मैं दूसरे मुद्दे पर बढ़ना चाहता हूं, वो भी पार्लियामेंट से ही जुड़ी हुई है। मित्रों, महात्मा गांधी के 3 बंदर थे। बुरा मत देखो, बुरा मत बोलो और बुरा मत सुनो। देखा होगा चित्रण है महात्मा गांधी के 3 बंदर। आधुनिक काल में परम आदरणीय नेता प्रतिपक्ष राहुल गांधी जी के भी 3 राजनीतिक सांकेतिक बंदर हैं। इन द मॉडर्न टाइम्स, राहुल गांधी, who has nothing in common with Mahatma Gandhi, including the surname, it is a stolen surname. He has 3 political symbolic monkeys. और ये 3 बंदर क्या दर्शाते हैं? वो राहुल जी की उस प्रवृत्ति को दर्शाते हैं, इसको कोई अन्यथा ना ले, कि सच मत बोलो, सच मत सुनो और सच मत देखो। और कल पार्लियामेंट में जो चुनाव सुधार को लेकर विस्तृत चर्चा हुई, उसमें राहुल गांधी ने इन्हीं 3 बंदरों का एक उदाहरण पेश करते हुए, मैं उनको नहीं तुलना कर रहा हूं, मेरी बातों को कट करके, क्लिप कट करके, ये उनकी आदत है, उनकी सुप्रिया श्रीनित वगैरह की, मैं कह रहा हूं कि उन्हीं की तरह अनुकरण करते हुए राहुल गांधी ना सच सुनने को तैयार थे, राहुल गांधी ना सच देखने को तैयार थे, राहुल गांधी ना सच बोलने को तैयार थे। और इसीलिए राहुल गांधी जी ने कल एलओपी का एक नया मतलब गढ़ लिया। एक तो एलओपी का मतलब लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन नहीं है उनके लिए, लीडर ऑफ प्रोपेगेंडा है। प्रोपेगेंडा तो भरपूर फैलाना संवैधानिक संस्थाओं पर, रफाल पर, सेना पर, एचएएल पर, एलआईसी पर, एसबीआई पर, सब पर कल उन्होंने जो प्रोपेगेंडा फैलाया इलेक्शन कमीशन को लेकर, तो लीडर ऑफ प्रोपेगेंडा तो है ही, पर दूसरा एलओपी का मतलब उनके लिए बन चुका है लीडर ऑफ पलायन। मतलब कि चर्चा की मांग आप करो पार्लियामेंट में, चर्चा के लिए चुनौती दो आप, और जब चर्चा में जवाब मिले आपको, बिंदुवार तरीके से आपके जो झूठ के बम है वो डिफ्यूज हो जाए और आपके एक के बाद एक झूठ के ऊपर से पर्दाफाश होता जाए, तो आप एलओपी लीडर ऑफ पलायन बन के भाग जाओ पार्लियामेंट से। उन्होंने कहा था डरो मत, हम तो कहते हैं राहुल जी भागो मत। अब तो भाग गए, पार्लियामेंट छोड़ के ही भाग गए। तो सच नहीं देखना है, सच नहीं बोलना है, सच नहीं सुनना है। आपको पता है कि मैं थोड़ी बहुत शायरी कविता भी कर लेता हूं, तो मैंने भी राहुल जी की जो स्थिति है, राहुल जी की बहुत कठिन स्थिति है। ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस और नार्सिसिज्म के बीच में जो फाइन लाइन है, अति कॉन्फिडेंस और आत्ममुग्धता, इसके बीच में जो फाइन रेखा है, उस पर राहुल गांधी खड़े हैं। उसको बोलते हैं पॉइंट ऑफ डिल्यूजन। तो राहुल गांधी जी के लिए मैंने कुछ लाइंस में लिख कर लाया हूं। ता उम्र राहुल गांधी रिमेन्स इन डेलुलू। डेलुलू आजकल ये शब्द चलता है, जेनजी का शब्द है। डिल्यूजन में जिसको होता है वो, उनको बोलते हैं डेलुलू। इनका कोई नहीं बचा है सोलुलू। सोलुलू मतलब सोल्यूशन। ता उम्र रहते हैं इन डेलुलू, कोई नहीं बचा इनका सोलुलू। चुनाव के समय जाएंगे कोलंबिया से लेकर होनोलुलू, और चुनाव हारने पर बोलेंगे इलेक्शन कमीशन व्हाट डिड यू डू। अभी जेनजी की भाषा में लिखा है, पुरानी शायरी नहीं है, नई जेनजी वाली शायरी है। राहुल गांधी जी, आपका ये जो 4D फॉर्मूला है ना, पहले डी से इलेक्शन में डिफीट होता है। अब जब डी से डिफीट होता है तो डी से वो डाइवर्ट करते हैं, भाई मेरे ऊपर ना आए, कोई मुझसे सवाल ना पूछे कि 95 टाइम्स मैं क्यों इलेक्शन हारा। तो डी से डाइवर्ट करना है, अटेंशन, अकाउंटेबिलिटी। तो डी से डिसइंफॉर्मेशन फैलाना है, डी से डिस्टोर्ट करना है, डी से डेफिसिट ऑफ ट्रस्ट पैदा करना है किसी भी संवैधानिक संस्था में, कि भाई मैं नहीं हारा, इन्होंने मुझे हरा दिया। कोई बच्चा फेल हो जाता है पेपर में तो बोलता है कि भाई पेपर टीचर ही गलत था, सिलेबस के बाहर से सवाल आए, एग्जामिनर करेक्ट नहीं था, जो बहानेबाजी होती है। और लास्ट डी जिस पर राहुल गांधी आ चुके हैं वो है डी से धमकी देना। वो भी हमने देखा कि पार्लियामेंट में खड़े होकर राहुल गांधी अब 4th डी पर पहुंच चुके हैं, डी से धमकी देना। जो उनकी दादी मां ने तो इमरजेंसी लगा दी थी संवैधानिक संस्थाओं पर। संवैधानिक संस्थाओं को कुचलने का लंबा इतिहास है इनके परिवार का, तो ये कोई नई बात नहीं है। पर उसी इमरजेंसी मानसिकता को दिखाते हुए राहुल गांधी जी अब डी से धमकी देने लगे संवैधानिक संस्थाओं को। कहते हैं आकर देख लेंगे, रेट्रोस्पेक्टिवली आपके ऊपर कार्रवाई करेंगे। तो राहुल जी की जो समस्या है वो ईसीआई नहीं है। ईसीआई तो बहाना है, राहुल जी की समस्या ईएमआई है। आप बोलोगे ईएमआई क्या? ईएमआई मतलब इमरजेंसी मानसिकता ऑफ इंदिरा। आज भी उससे बाहर नहीं निकले। तब इंदिरा इज इंडिया था, आज परिवार तंत्र है जवाब संविधान तंत्र। मेरा परिवार चुनाव हारे तो संविधान तंत्र गलत, इलेक्शन कमीशन गलत, जुडिशरी गलत। और दूसरा है एंटाइटल्ड मानसिकता ऑफ इंदिराज ग्रैंडसन। अपने आप को ही पार्लियामेंट के ऊपर समझना, अपने आप को ही देश के ऊपर समझना, अपने आप को हर संवैधानिक संस्थाओं के ऊपर समझना। तो ये ईसीआई का विषय नहीं है राहुल गांधी का। राहुल गांधी का असली विषय तो ईएमआई का है, इमरजेंसी मानसिकता से ग्रसित और एंटाइटल्ड मानसिकता में फंसे हुए। अब राहुल गांधी जी ने मुख्यतः से अपने थ्रेड्स बांधने की कोशिश की उन्होंने स्पीच में। आपने देखा, हालांकि वो थ्रेड कहां से कहां जुड़ रहा था वो तो हम सब ने देखा। ना इधर का थ्रेड वहां जुड़ रहा था, ना उधर का थ्रेड इधर जुड़ रहा था। पर उनके जो थ्रेड्स में से निकला वो 4 बिंदु थे। इलेक्शन कमिश्नर की नियुक्ति पर, सीसीटीवी पर, इम्यूनिटी पर, और राहुल गांधी ने जो इलेक्शन कमीशन को रेट्रोस्पेक्टिवली एक्शन करने की बातें की। और हर एक बिंदु पर कल गृह मंत्री अमित शाह जी ने बिंदुवार तरीके से पूरे कानून को और संविधान को समझाते हुए पॉइंट बाय पॉइंट रिबटल किया। राहुल गांधी जी कहते हैं कि आज की तारीख में नियुक्ति निष्पक्षता से नहीं होती। हालांकि आज नियुक्ति इलेक्शन कमिश्नर की कोई मोदी जी डायरेक्टली नहीं करते, पैनल करता है, कानून के तहत बना हुआ पैनल करता है। अब राहुल जी मेरा आपसे सवाल है, आपकी तो सरकारें बहुत साल तक रही, 1950 से लेकर 2014 तक। आप मुझे बता दीजिए कि कौन सा ऐसा इलेक्शन कमिश्नर या कमिश्नर्स है जिसकी नियुक्ति आपने पैनल के माध्यम से करवाई हो, जिसमें नेता प्रतिपक्ष की कोई योगदान या रोल रहा हो। आज तो है, आज जो इलेक्शन कमिश्नर अपॉइंट होता है वो एक पैनल के तहत होता है। आपके समय पर तो डायरेक्टली अपॉइंट होता था, पहले तो मल्टी मेंबर भी नहीं था, एक ही इलेक्शन कमिश्नर। तो वहां पर वो प्रोपेगेंडा झूठ साबित हुआ उनका। दूसरा, उन्होंने सीसीटीवी पर सवाल उठाए कि 45 दिन के बाद सीसीटीवी क्यों नहीं रखा जाता। उस पर भी जवाब आया कि भाई 1950 से कानून बना है कि 45 दिन के बाद तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट भी किसी इलेक्शन पिटीशन का संज्ञान नहीं ले सकता। मतलब आपको जो पिटीशन दायर करनी है, अगर आपको लगता है आपकी चुनाव में कोई गलती हुई है, तो वो 45 दिन की अवधि रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ पीपल्स एक्ट 1950-51 में तय किया गया था, इनकी सरकारों ने तय किया। अब सीसीटीवी 45 दिन से आगे रखने का तो कोई औचित्य नहीं बचता, तो उसको अलाइन किया गया। पर मैं आपसे पूछना चाहता हूं राहुल जी, चलिए छोड़ दीजिए कानून की बातें, कहां आप समझेंगे। बिहार में तो आप कह रहे ना बड़े स्केल पर धांधली हुई, और बिहार के चुनाव 14 नवंबर को हुए, रिजल्ट्स आए, और आज आप देख लीजिए कितने दिन हो चुके हैं। तो कितनी आपने पिटीशंस फाइल की और सीसीटीवी को आपने स्टोर करवा दिया, उसका जवाब ही दे दीजिए। मतलब कि 35 से 40 दिन की अवधि निकल चुकी है बिहार चुनाव से, पर एक याचिका कांग्रेस ने ऑफिशियली फाइल नहीं की है। पर हल्ला मचाना है, हल्ला काटना है। तीसरी बात उन्होंने कही कि इलेक्शन कमिश्नर को इम्यूनिटी क्यों मिलती है। राहुल जी देखिए, इतना एम्बैरेस मत कीजिए अपने आप को भी और हमें भी। आप नेता प्रतिपक्ष हैं, वेदर वी लाइक इट और यू डोंट लाइक इट, आप हैं। आप एक संवैधानिक पद से, संवैधानिक दृष्टि से महत्वपूर्ण पद पर है। चाहे आपको संविधान का ज्ञान हो ना हो, आपको कम से कम यह इमेज तो रखनी चाहिए कि आप संविधान जानते हैं भारत का। आर्टिकल 324 बड़े क्लियरली इस पावर को देता है, और जो भी संवैधानिक पद पर अपनी ड्यूटी को डिस्चार्ज करता है उसको इम्यूनिटी मिलती ही है अपने कार्यों के लिए। ये संविधान सभा और संविधान के फाउंडर्स ने तय किया था, ये कोई हमने थोड़ी तय किया है। और रिप्रेजेंटेशन पीपल्स एक्ट 1951 में सेक्शन 146 में बाकायदा वही लाइन है, मैं पढ़कर थोड़ी सुना भी देता हूं। नो सूट और प्रोसिक्यूशन विल लाई अगेंस्ट कमीशन और एनी अदर पर्सन, जो भी वो कार्य करते उसके दृष्टिकोण से। तो क्या राहुल गांधी जी कहना चाहते हैं कि नेहरू जी ने गलत तरीके से, संविधान सभा ने गलत तरीके से ये इम्यूनिटी दी है? तो बता दे और आकर ओपनली नेहरू जी को डिसरिगार्ड करे, ये चोरी छिपे ना करे, ओपनली आकर करे। और जिन लोगों के परिवार का इतिहास ये रहा है कि इमरजेंसी के पीक पर मिनी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन लागू करके 42nd अमेंडमेंट लाकर अपने आप को, मतलब प्रधानमंत्री को इम्यूनिटी दे देना, वो भी रेट्रोस्पेक्टिवली, वो लोग बात कर रहे हैं इम्यूनिटी की। हमारे प्रधानमंत्री तो वो है जो अब वो कानून बन रहा है जिसमें कि अगर आप जेल में रहेंगे तो आपको पद छोड़ना पड़ेगा। हमारे वाले तो वो है जो कहते हैं प्रधानमंत्री को पहले डालो उसमें। आपके वाले तो वो थे जो कहते थे कि प्रधानमंत्री पर जुडिशरी भी सवाल नहीं उठा सकती कन्विक्ट होने के बाद। मैं कंफ्यूज हूं कल की राहुल गांधी की जो थ्रेड वाली बातें हैं, हालांकि उसके धागे तो अमित शाह जी ने खोल दिए, पर वो धागे कहां जा रहे मुझे समझ में नहीं आता। कांग्रेस का अब तक डिबेट्स में और बाकी जगह पर यह कहना था कि हम एसआईआर के खिलाफ नहीं है, हम एसआईआर की जो प्रक्रिया अपनाई जा रही है उसके खिलाफ है। ठीक है, पर मनीष तिवारी जो कि संभवतः ओपनिंग स्पीकर थे कांग्रेस के, वो आकर कहते हैं कि एसआईआर करने का तो कोई कानूनी संवैधानिक अधिकार ही नहीं है। तो इसका मतलब यह हुआ, और राहुल जी मेरे सवाल आपसे अब शुरू हो रहे हैं, हिम्मत हो तो चैलेंज एक्सेप्ट करते हुए प्रेस वार्ता कीजिए या ट्विटर पर, जहां पर भी आपको, क्योंकि अभी तो आप विदेश जाएंगे, जर्मनी जाएंगे, तो जर्मनी से ट्वीट ही कर दीजिए, कोई समस्या नहीं।
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
In the India Today Best Universities Survey, India's #1 ranked universities in various streams are JNU Delhi, Amity University, AIMS Delhi, IIT Delhi, and National Law School Bengaluru.
Our Pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला। MDH।
भाई मेरा बेटी को प्यार चाहिए, मेरा बेटी का ब्लड आ रहा है, नीचे से ब्लड।
एसआईआर का ठीकरा शुरू कर दिया है। 1 साल पहले राहुल जी, सवाल नंबर 2, आप एसआईआर तो बोलते ही नहीं थे, वोट चोरी तो बोलते नहीं थे, ईवीएम बोलते थे।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Live and Breaking with me, Krutat Patnaik. At 3:30 p.m. this Thursday afternoon, our top story continues to remain the Luthra brothers, who are at the moment in the custody of immigration services in Thailand. But a crucial hearing is also simultaneously ongoing in the Delhi Rohini court, where they are asking for an anticipatory bail. What's going to happen? I'll bring you all those details in this bulletin. But as always, let's start this Live and Breaking bulletin with the headlines. It's the end game for the Luthra brothers, duo detained in Thailand by the Royal Thai Police. First pictures only on Republic. Passport suspended, duo detained. Luthra brothers deportation process initiated from Thailand. Delhi court resumes hearing in the Luthra brothers' anticipatory bail plea this afternoon. Crucial hearing ongoing in Delhi's Rohini court.
देश भर में ई सिगरेट बैन हो चुकी है। क्या सदन में आपने अलाउ कर दी है?
नहीं, कोई माननीय सदस्य को कोई भी
सर, टीएमसी के सांसद पी रहे हैं सर टीएमसी के सांसद सर कई दिनों से लगातार बैठ के पी रहे हैं सर।
Amid the winter session fireworks, an e-cigarette scandal breaks out in the Indian Parliament. BJP MP Anurag Thakur accuses TMC MP of smoking e-cigarettes on the Lok Sabha campus. US Trade Talk delegation teams arrives at the Ministry of Commerce and Industry to further India and US trade negotiations. And ladies and gentlemen, as the tensions between India and Pakistan continue to remain high, in a swift operation conducted by the Coast Guard, a Pakistani fishing vessel was now captured by the Coast Guard in India's exclusive economic zone. This Pakistani fishing boat had 11 crew members inside India's EE zone. The interdiction underscores Bharatiya Tatrakshak's sustained maritime operations and India's commitment to securing its maritime frontiers. This is a big operation that was undertaken by the Indian Coast Guard, in which a Pakistani fishing boat was apprehended with 11 Pakistani nationals on board. This fishing boat had ventured into India's exclusive economic zone, which is the right of India to only have access to its own ships and ships that have a sanction to operate in these waters. This Pakistani ship was found in Indian waters in the exclusive economic zone and now has been apprehended by India's Coast Guard. These are exclusive visuals only on Republic of that Pakistani boat that was intercepted by the Coast Guard along the Gujarat coast, and their 11 Pakistani citizens have been further detained from this fishing boat along the coast of Gujarat. This is the information that we are getting in. There's a continuous vigilance across India's maritime domain, and this remains to be a cornerstone of India's national maritime strategy. That's the latest coming in. My colleague Swarali joins us live on the broadcast with more details on the story. Swarali, do tell us about this interception of the Coast Guard of this Pakistani ship in India's exclusive economic zone and the 11 Pakistani nationals who have been detained.
Yes, that's true. 11 fishermen with a boat named Al Wali are arrested by the Indian Coast Guard, and their determination to secure the maritime borders of India. They were primarily found to be in the Indian maritime zones, and that's why they were detained and now interrogated thoroughly. That question regarding the intentions, right now they are in the custody of Indian Coast Guard. On the other hand, let me also tell you, they were detained near the Indian waters in the Jakhau area near the Kutch, Gujarat, and they are found there sailing without the proper permissions. They are found in the Indian maritime zone. And in a determination to secure the coastal line of India, Indian Coast Guard had arrested these 11 fishermen on a boat named Al Wali. That's the specific boat name from where these fishermen were detained and now interrogated by the coastline agencies of India.
Indeed, Swarali, and this continues to remain a very important point of concern. We know that this border has been largely used as an interception point by the Coast Guard, therefore the narco-terror trade that also stems through these fishing routes. So it is very important and crucial that this fishing boat has been captured in India's exclusive economic zone. It's a very difficult situation, especially in light of Operation Sindoor, where vigilance has been extremely high along the Gujarat coast, where various maritime drills have also been conducted. What are you picking up from the authorities and the Coast Guard vis-a-vis the further proceedings that will now continue now that these people have been detained and this boat has been captured and intercepted?
Right, they are totally examined by the Indian Coast Guards, and the interrogation will take its further course in a sense that they will investigate it in detail regarding their intention of crossing the international water borders present on the sea, and why were they even sailing in the Indian maritime zone when they had no permission, no legal permission to cross the international water borders. Why were they present on the Indian side of the Maritime Authority and Maritime Zone? So this is a constant effort by the Coast Guards to crack down on such illegal sailors who come across on the other side of the international borders in the Indian Maritime Zone, and which is very important economic area for India. They were caught on the area near Jakhau. They were sailing near the area called Jakhau, and they were brought back to the port, and now investigation will take its course, and they'll be thoroughly questioned, examined, and the intention of them sailing on the other hand, 11 fishermen, intention of them sailing on the Indian side will also be fetched.
Thank you so much, Swarali, for bringing us those details, ladies and gentlemen. That's the latest coming in from the Coast Guard. In the interim, we are also getting in more breaking news updates on the Luthra brothers, ladies and gentlemen. A shocking revelation has come to the fore where 42 shell corporations linked to the Luthra brothers are now coming to the fore. They went to the courts and they said that everything is hunky-dory. They have all the requisite licenses to carry out their operations. But now Republic has found out a shadowy network of alleged 42 shell companies, all helmed by the same duo as directors who have bizarrely registered, ladies and gentlemen, hear this, all 42 quote-unquote shell companies at the same address in northwest Delhi, with most incorporated in just last 2 years. Far from the billions that they claimed in legitimate restaurant ventures, these entities now are under the radar of the agencies, which appear to be designed for money laundering, tax evasion and fund diversion. So now the investigation into the Luthra brothers, ladies and gentlemen, is going into top gear, into next level scrutiny of this duo, from fire NOCs and illegal constructions in the CRZ zones, the coastal regulation zone. This investigation is now taking a pivotal turn with more updates coming in on the money laundering aspect, the tax evasion aspect, and the fund diversion aspect. My colleague Swarali continues to remain live with us on this story. Swarali, do tell us about the new money laundering, tax evasion, and the fund diversion angle now, which is emerging in the Luthra brothers investigation, a shocking turn.
Yes, that's true. A new set of information is emerging, which is very, very shocking. Now, their entire company network might come under the scrutiny after the Republic Networks access the information that 42 shell companies might be registered in the name of alleged perpetrators of Goa fire tragedy, Luthra brothers. 42 shell companies. Now, this pattern shows the possibility of money laundering, diversion of funds, Benami transactions, and all these 42 shell companies are registered on the same address. Let me take you to the details of this address. It's in the Hudson line of Northwest Delhi. Now, there are several private limited companies, limited liability partnerships, that is LLPs, and also, so these 42 companies are registered on, allegedly, on major perpetrators of Goa fire tragedy, Luthra brothers. Now, agencies might scan and scrutinize the entire network, which has now raised alarming questions regarding the intent. Luthra brothers were...
And ladies and gentlemen, in the interim, there is a big breaking development coming in from the Delhi Rohini court. The case moving very fast in the Luthra brothers investigation. The Delhi court has now reserved an order which was seeking an interim bail. The order will be delivered at 5 p.m. in the evening, and the suspense over whether or not the Luthra brothers will get an anticipatory bail to come to Goa and face their charges now will be concluded at 5 p.m. this evening, as the Delhi Rohini court has now reserved an order in the Luthra brothers case. Remember, this case first came to the court yesterday in the afternoon with senior advocate Siddharth Luthra representing the Luthra brothers there. The core contention of that argument was, ladies and gentlemen, that they are ready to come back to Goa and join the investigation as an aid to the investigation, but not as accused. The Luthra brothers shockingly also claimed that they were being persecuted, their restaurants were demolished without any notices, and that they are only the licensees and not owners. This was the conjecture that was put out. This was the argumentation that was put out by the lawyers of the Luthra brothers in the court. The court has, yesterday there was no interim bail granted to them. Today the order has been reserved till 5 p.m. in the evening. My colleague Shambhavi joins us live now on the broadcast with more details. Shambhavi, take it away. Shambhavi, if you can hear me, we are getting in a breaking news detail coming in that the Delhi court has now reserved an order. The order will be pronounced at 5 p.m. in the interim bail plea application that has been filed in the court. What's the latest that you're picking up on this story, Shambhavi?
Well, yes, the order has been reserved now after a lot of argument between both the counsels. There has been to and fro argument from both ends in this case. Actually, the counsel for Goa was arguing and debunking each and every argument that was made from Luthra's end yesterday, be it about them absconding from the country and asking protection from the police if they come back. And mind you, they have put a condition that we are ready to come back. We want to come back to India, provided that you give us protection, because we are scared. What they have put forward in their argument is that I am being threatened, my wife is being threatened. What if you want me to come back to Goa and then you want me to be lynched by the public there? So they're saying that we are running a risk here. There has been a lot of things which has happened in just a matter of few days. There has been minute-to-minute changes in this entire case where several of my properties have been bulldozed. Rest of the properties have been shut down without any notice. And you are taking me accountable for something which I'm not even responsible for. I've barely been to Goa and I don't look after the operations there. Please take into account who handles the operations for that concerned club. And we are talking about Birch by Romeo Lane here, in which there was this fire. So these were the points that were being raised by the Luthra brothers, to which the state of Goa's council has said that they have raised several points about their health issues as well, that both Saurav and Gaurav Luthra have health issues, that Saurav has a history of epilepsy and also of seizures. So what they are saying, what the council for Goa has said, that if you look at their prescription, in that prescription, you can see that that prescription was prescribed without even meeting the patient. So that cannot be considered as something very severe. And when it comes to Gaurav Luthra, that was more of a cosmetology clinic medicines. So these are not such serious medicines that you can say that they have a medical history and that if they come back, there is more chances of getting seizure. So such arguments were made from both ends, very strong arguments made, a lot of to and fro between both the parties. And now that the court has reserved the order, the final order is expected to be out by 5 p.m. Back to you.
Indeed, Shambhavi, and stay with us because, ladies and gentlemen, these are fast-moving developments coming in as we speak. The Delhi court has now reserved an order that will be delivered at 5 p.m. in the evening. And the entire sequence of events, ladies and gentlemen, we have mapped out very clearly how these two individuals got into an aircraft which flew from 5:30 a.m. in the morning in an Indigo aircraft and how they escaped the country mere hours after the entire fire incident took place in Goa. And let me also take you through a set of sequence of events as to how exactly this entire sequence was executed. First, what has happened since morning? Today morning, they were detained from the Indigo hotel where they were staying in room number 345. They were detained from the hotel room. These are the visuals of the Thai immigration services who detained them. Subsequently, their identities were verified because a blue corner notice of the Interpol was put in place, and because of that blue collar notice, they were identified, their passports were photographed, and it was proven that it is Gaurav and Saurav, the two people who were in the Thai police custody. Subsequently, what happened? Then they were taken away into an immigration detention center of the Thai services. From there on, behind a blue door in a restricted area, they have been detained for further proceedings. We are being told now that Indian embassy officials also have reached Phuket, where these two individuals are now being detained by the immigration authorities of Thailand. And subsequently, their process of repatriation back to the country is going to be under the focus. Amidst this, there was hope for them because a case hearing was ongoing in Delhi's Rohini court, which has now reserved a judgment at 5 p.m. in this evening. Their prayer to the Delhi court was an anticipatory bail for 5 days. Let me also show you the map graphics on this big wall to show you the scale and extent of which what has transpired in the last 24 to 48 hours. In just a moment, ladies and gentlemen, but the biggest story at the moment is whether or not Gaurav and Saurav will get that anticipatory bail, because the entire procedure of their repatriation is now somewhat hinged upon it. But let me also show you the sequence of events from the perspective of this big man detained in 72 hours. The fire breaks off here in Goa at 11:45 p.m. on Saturday evening. Subsequently, what happens? The two brothers are based out in Delhi at 1:17 a.m. in the thick of the night. Merely a couple of hours after that, they boarded a flight of Indigo at 5:25 a.m. in the morning and landed there, all the way in Phuket. It was much closer for them to come to Goa and join the investigation, as they are now going to the Rohini court and claiming that they want to be part of the investigation. But instead, ladies and gentlemen, they say that they had some important work, following which they decided that it was perhaps advisable for them to fly all the way down there to Phuket, but not to Goa. Shambhavi, these are some very strong questions that were raised by the ASG also in the court, and some questions that the Luthra brothers have had to answer in the court. Whether or not this will convince the judges is something that remains to be seen, but the timeline will be a huge factor of consideration, Shambhavi, in the bail hearing.
Definitely, the time when the fire actually broke, and then the time at which they booked the ticket, then the time they took the flight and reached, and then released a very templated condolences message on his Instagram. And then there were several points. Now let me also tell our viewers here, Krutarth, that there were some points raised by the Luthra brothers and in this hearing. What they're saying is, we are just asking for this transitory anticipatory bail. We are not fighting, or we are not arguing on the merits of the case. If you just provide me some protection, I will be back. I was even ready to come back to India yesterday night as well, when the arguments were going on. Then another point, they're saying that I have set up my restaurant. I'm setting up my restaurant in Phuket, and I will be employing Indians in that restaurant. Is that something that I should be lynched for? Because they've made this very strong point that if you want me to come back to India, I will come back to India. I am ready to face the court. But if I'll come back to India, I will be lynched. My properties will be set ablaze. They're saying that their life is in danger. Another point that they have raised is that Saurav is epileptic and Gaurav has some neuro issues, and that they went above and beyond to make sure that all the documents are provided for the aid of the investigation. So now they're defending their actions. They're not taking any accountability for this unfortunate accident that happened at the club, and they are constantly trying to prove their innocence by saying that we went above and beyond just to make sure that the authorities have all the required documents in this case. Another thing that they're actually saying that because Saurav is epileptic and he is more prone to have seizures, such stressful environment just makes him more prone to have seizure, and that is basic science. So these are the grounds that today the Luthra brothers council have argued, to which even the council for the state of Goa has said that when you look at the timing, we are already constantly telling our viewers the timeline of this entire accident. And when you look at the time, the fire was somewhat around 11:20 to 11:30 p.m. Saturday night. And then around 1:17, that flight, 1:17 a.m., just a couple of hours after that fire, they booked a flight and then they fled from India. And they're also saying that I ran like a rabbit, but I'm ready to come, I'm ready to face, give me protection and I will come. So that has been their constant point. Kritarth.
All right, thank you very much, Shambhavi, for bringing us those details. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the big breaking news development coming in at 5 p.m. this evening. We'll have the answer on the anticipatory bail for the Luthra brothers. In the interim, let me bring you a report coming in from the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, where J&K Police, SOG and the BSF together in the Samba International Border Sector are conducting thick combing drives along the international border to prevent any infiltration bid. The national security effort, ladies and gentlemen, is a 24/7, 365-day effort, and our forces are on it. Take a look.
Security forces have launched one of its mega operations as part of its winter strategy, and right now we are reporting from the woods of the Samba, where massive search operation is presently underway. As you see, the troops of the Special Operations Group of the Samba, they are carrying out this intensified searches in the deserts and the upper areas that has some riverine structures as well, and this is very close to the Indo-Pakistan international border, where these intensified searches are taking place. What they are doing, they are carrying out the searches to ensure that the security forces, they are able to scan everything, because this entire area, the 360-degree view that you see, that this is a dense forest that is in the Samba district, and here it becomes really a major challenge for the security forces, that how they will storm through these forests so that it cannot be used by the adversary, it cannot be used by the enemies of the country, because this area has been a traditional route of infiltration. And now as we speak, you will see how they are carrying out the intensified operations, that they are looking into every nook and the corner, and once they reach some point, then they are ensuring that every threat from across the border is foiled. I'll request Ashu to tag along so that we can show you that how in these of the dense areas the security forces are carrying out these operations. Now that they have seen some movement, they have completely come to a standstill. Only when they see that this movement, this threat is neutralized or the threat is ruled out, only then they will move out. So tactically in the woods of the Samba, the Special Operation Group is moving. They are moving so that they can rule out the threat of the drone dropping, because see, these are the dense areas, and in these dense areas what the terrorists do, that they locate some coordinates and then they drop the consignment into the Indian territory. But now what is happening, that here the intensified operations are underway.
Well, that's the latest coming in from the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, ladies and gentlemen, where our forces are continuing to remain very vigilant along the infiltration points along the international border. In the interim, let me also bring you all the latest updates that we are tracking for you from across the country. This is Bharat in 2 minutes. A massive fire broke out at the irrigation factory in Jalgaon's MIDC area. Officials confirmed that the blaze, which spread rapidly due to plastic materials, has been brought under control with no casualties reported. 3 people dead, 13 injured in a collision between a car and a tractor near Ayodhya. 4 injured patients admitted in hospital are in stable condition. The victims belong to Madhya Pradesh's Rewa district. Two police officers who were suspended for alleged negligence in the investigation into last year's Pune Porsche crash case have been dismissed from service. A Porsche car allegedly driven by a 17-year-old boy in an inebriated condition had fatally run over two techies on a motorcycle in Pune last year. A major fire broke out at a 6-story commercial building and the offices of SBI after continuous efforts of nearly 24 hours. The firefighters, NDRF and SDRF teams, assisted by teams from the Guwahati refinery, doused the flames and brought the situation under control. No casualties have been reported so far. A fire erupted at a multi-story building in Sadar Bazaar, prompting response from Delhi Fire Services. The place swept through storage units of polythene and plastic bags. Firefighters dispatched multiple water tenders, eventually controlling the flames. Authorities confirmed that no casualties or injuries have been reported, but the cause of the fire is still under investigation. In the interim, ladies and gentlemen, India's humanitarian mission in Sri Lanka after Cyclone Luthra has now entered a decisive phase. The Indian Army's medical teams operating under Operation Sagar Bandhu have treated more than 5,000 patients in just 48 hours. Lieutenant Colonel Jagneet Gill, contingent commander of the Indian Army team deployed in Sri Lanka, is underscoring this collaborative nature of the mission, and he has shared the commitment of both our nations to work together in the time of crisis. Let's take a look at that detailed report of Operation Sagar Bandhu.
The first 48 hours after Cyclone Luthra caused destruction in Sri Lanka, Indian Army treated more than 5,000 patients. India's relief effort in Sri Lanka following Cyclone Luthra has moved into a critical stage now. Under Operation Sagar Bandhu, the Indian Army's medical contingent has already provided care to multiple people who were left injured. The Indian Army contingent, led by Lieutenant Colonel Jagneet Gill, set up a fully equipped mobile hospital in the flood-ravaged district of Trincomalee.
Well, the key facilities that were established by this hospital really depended on the fact that what were the facilities that were already available in this hospital. So the other hospital which has been non-functional, we were basically looking at facilities like the operation theatre, the dental section, the X-ray and the lab facilities. So we have been able to create these facilities. Other than that, we have also been able to create OPDs, which was the hour of the need. So we have been able to create the surgical OPD, the ortho OPD, the dental OPD, as well as family OPD. So we've been able to provide assistance to almost around 5,000, more than 5,000 patients.
The team's priority was to bring immediate, life-saving care to those cut off by the floods, as per Lieutenant Colonel Gill.
Well, the new age technology that we had employed this time was that we had surveillance drones which were very, very important to find the layout of the hospital and really helped us to establish it much faster. The other was the HVAC tents which were deployed to create OT in a minimum time. And also, since the layout of the hospital required us that the labs and the facilities for blood collection were far apart, so we could actually use the logistic drones to carry out lab samples and blood samples to the labs, and we could actually enhance our speed and we could get results much faster.
Within 24 hours, the team upgraded a previously non-functional healthcare center. The Indian Army installed an operational theatre, digital X-ray and a fully stocked laboratory in the health center. In addition, they opened OPDs for surgery, dentistry and family health, ensuring a comprehensive package of care. This came as major boost and upgrade to the existing medical infrastructure in Sri Lanka. Cyclone Luthra made landfall on the eastern coast on 28 November, dumping more than 500 mm of rain in 48 hours. The resulting floods submerged 1.1 million hectares, which is roughly 20% of the island's landmass. 2.3 million people were directly exposed to waterborne hazards. The destruction was immense. $720,000 buildings were inundated, including 243 health facilities and hundreds of schools. In addition to the medical push, India dispatched 4 more naval vessels to deliver essential relief supplies. Food, water, medicines, and shelter kits were provided. The vessels have also provided logistical support for the evacuation of vulnerable civilians.
And as the parliament debates continue, ladies and gentlemen, a new controversy has erupted on e-cigarettes being used by an alleged TMC MP on campus. The BJP is now raking up the issue, and when we come right back after this very short break, we'll bring you more details. Do not go anywhere. Republic is live and breaking.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा, राजा और प्योर मसाला।
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
भाई मेरा बेटी को प्यार चाहिए, मेरा बेटी का ब्लड आ रहा है, नीचे से ब्लड।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार, विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
It's the end game for the Luthra brothers duo detained in Thailand by the Royal Thai Police. First pictures only on Republic. Passport suspended, duo detained. Luthra brothers' deportation process has been initiated in Thailand. Delhi court reserves order in the interim bail plea for the Luthra brothers, order to be pronounced at 5 p.m.
देश भर में ई सिगरेट बैन हो चुकी है, क्या सदन में आपने अलाउ कर दी है?
नहीं, कोई माननीय सदस्य को कोई भी
सर टीएमसी के सांसद पी रहे हैं सर टीएमसी के सांसद सर कई दिनों से लगातार बैठ के पी रहे हैं सर।
Amid winter session, e-cigarette scandal breaks out inside the parliament. BJP MP Anurag Thakur accuses TMC MP of smoking an e-cigarette within the Lok Sabha compound. US delegation arrives at the Ministry of Commerce and Industry amid stalled trade negotiations. Progress expected.
Breaking news coming in on the big controversy on the lamp lighting verdict. There are people who are taking a very strong stand. You heard the Home Minister Amit Shah in Parliament talking about how opposition parties, by bringing in the impeachment motion, had shown that they preferred vote banks than standing for justice for Hindus. And now Mohan Bhagwat, RSS chief, has spoken about it, speaking about Hindu awakening in reference with the lamp lighting controversy. Mohan Bhagwat, let's cut across live.
If it needs escalation, it will be done. But I don't think it needs so. The matter is now sub judice. Let it resolve. The awakening of Hindus in Tamil Nadu, I think it is enough to bring about the desired result. But if at all it is needed, the Hindu organizations are working in Tamil Nadu also. They will let us know, then we will think about it. But at present, I think the issue can be resolved here only on basis of the Hindus' strength in Tamil Nadu only. If it needs escalation, it will be done. But I don't think it needs so. The matter is now sub judice. Let it resolve. The awakening of Hindus in Tamil Nadu, I think it is enough to bring about the desired result. But if at all it is needed, the Hindu organizations are working in Tamil Nadu also. They will let us know, then we will think about it. But at present, I think the issue can be resolved here only on basis of the Hindus' strength in Tamil Nadu only.
Sharda is joining us live. In fact, Sharda is at the hill. She's at the foothills of the Tirupuram Kundram, and I'm going across to her. She's in Madurai. Sharda, we understand that then ASI survey is ongoing, but the story is becoming national. It's no more about Tamil Nadu. It's a national story with different political parties taking sides. RSS chief also saying awakening of Hindus is enough for desired results. Ahead of elections, these are big statements.
Very true, Niranjan. Now, Tamil Nadu, the Tirupura Kundram River has become huge because there's been continuous legal battles between the ruling government, DMK, and also the Hindu political fronts, which includes the BJP, ADMK, and the Hindu Munnani Makkal Party, which has been fighting to light the lamp in Tirupura Kundram. It's been over 10 days since the fight has been continuing, and the Section 144 was imposed in the hill. But now, even after the judges asked for the 144 to be removed, the government continues to make sure that the people are not let on top of the hill to go to the Kasi Vishwanath temple or even the Dargah, for the matter of fact. And also now, with the elections coming, it's more the political battle than a legal battle that's been fought, because it seems like the DMK is looking forward for the minority appeasement. It's making sure that the Muslims are favored more than the Hindus, and this is what the BJP and the AIADMK claims. And with the DMK moving forward with an impeachment policy against Judge G.R. Swaminathan, who gave the order that the lamp can be lit on the top of the hill, we can also see that this impeachment motion comes at a time when the order did not come in favor of the DMK. With multiple voices that we heard today from the residents here, the petitioners, the lawyers, and also political leaders who have been fighting for this for years, continue to state that the people in the Tirupura Kundram continue to live harmoniously, but it is the state government that's trying to create an issue by especially a communal break in the communal harmony is what the DMK is aiming at, is what the residents are telling us.
Mohan Bhagwat, the RSS chief, speaking on the lamp lighting controversy and an awakening of Hindus. Critical statement ahead of the elections in Tamil Nadu.
If it needs escalation, it will be done. But I don't think it needs so. The matter is now sub judice. Let it resolve. The awakening of Hindus in Tamil Nadu, I think it is enough to bring about the desired result. But if at all it is needed, the Hindu organizations are working in Tamil Nadu also. They will let us know, then we will think about it. But at present, I think the issue can be resolved here only on basis of the Hindus' strength in Tamil Nadu only.
The story became national the moment DMK and its allies, Congress included, decided to move an impeachment motion. 107 MPs signed the impeachment motion and went to the Speaker and presented a letter. This was 2 days ago. And today it's become a national controversy. In the Parliament last evening, Union Home Minister Amit Shah raised the controversy, talking about, and his reference was to how opposition parties, while backing intruders on one hand, have started opposing Hindus and anything that is seen as pro-Hindu. They were opposing a judge simply because he allowed lamp lighting on that hill in Madurai. Here's what Amit Shah said in Parliament.
कोई जज आजादी के इतने साल में नहीं हुआ है मान्यवर कि कोई जज एक जजमेंट दे तो जज के खिलाफ इंपीचमेंट लेकर आते हैं अपनी वोट बैंक को एड्रेस करने के लिए इंपीचमेंट लेकर आते हैं मान्यवर और ये सारे ने तो साइन कर दिया साथ ही साथ उद्धव जी ने भी साइन कर दिया उद्धव जी जजमेंट क्या है एक पहाड़ी पर मान्यता है कि हाँ सबसे ऊपर दिया जलाया जाए मान्यवर ये वोट बैंक को संभालने के लिए एक हाईकोर्ट के जज के सामने इंपीचमेंट लेकर आए हैं देश की जनता उनको मदद नहीं करे
Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting in more pictures right now. Breaking story here on Republic after the Goa club fire where 25 lives were lost. The Luthra brothers who fled India and moved to Thailand. They're getting in more pictures from Phuket of the immigration center. And we are expecting that in a short while from now, the Luthra brothers will be moved from that immigration center. They are likely to be brought back to India in a few hours. The Indian agencies will seek custody and will seek to take a handover from Thai authorities and the police. Let me go, and the immigration, of course, a department in Thailand. Let me go across to Swarali, joining us with the details. Swarali.
Yes, that's true. Let me tell you right now, the Luthra brothers are in custody of Royal Thai Police in the immigration center of Thailand. And further, the process and the procedure to deport Luthra brothers back to India has started. They are being interrogated and the documents are being verified. This is the latest information we are gathering in from the immigration center that is in Thailand. As we know that this is a question of two countries. They are supposed to be deported back to India. So all the angles will be explored.
Fire tragedy back so, all the and we might get information soon that when in how many hours or in how many days will the major perpetrators of Goa fire tragedy be bring back to India.
I'm staying with this video. There's a new video that's come in, another video that's come in from Phuket of the detention center. This is the immigration detention center where the brothers, the Luthra brothers, Saurabh Luthra, Gaurav Luthra, are being held by the immigration authorities. We should be able to get you more details now. Whether they will be moved out and moved back to India today or tomorrow, it's a question of time and about when they will be moved out. But for the moment, they are being held in this high security area and they fled India hours after the fire. 5:25 a.m. flight, a few hours after they booked the ticket following the fire that broke out at the Birch Club. We're getting in some more details. One of the owners, there's two of the owners who are in Phuket who've been tracked down, who've been detained, but the third owner, Ajay Gupta is in the court. He was in the Goa court, presented, and we questioned him, asked him a few questions. This is him. Let's try and play that out. Right. We're going to play the full sequence. Can we play the sequence, please, of us asking the questions to Ajay Gupta? Ajay Gupta tried to speak there. In fact, Ajay Gupta had in the last few days after his arrest tried to tell the media that he is only a sleeping partner. He had no active role in the operations of the Birch nightclub. Let's listen in.
Sir, एक statement, sir.
I am sad for what has happened. I'm not a dement. I am sad for what has happened, but I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
अजय गुप्ता क्या कहना चाहते हो? अजय गुप्ता.
But sir, लेकिन आपकी लापरवाही से 25 लोगों की जान गई है. आप नहीं मानते हैं सर?
I am a sleeping partner. I have no role in operations.
Sir, एक statement, sir.
I am sad for what has happened. I'm not a dement. I am sad for what has happened, but I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
अजय गुप्ता क्या कहना चाहते हो? अजय गुप्ता.
But sir, लेकिन आपकी लापरवाही से 25 लोगों की जान गई है. आप नहीं मानते हैं सर?
I am a sleeping partner. I have no role in operations.
Co-owner outside the court saying he's a sleeping partner, had no role whatsoever. Okay, the court has reserved the order. Meanwhile, the Luthra brothers had moved court, saying that they will only return if there is surety of sorts from the court, and the court will dictate the order on the Luthra brothers at 5 p.m. today. So we will wait for that order. They had sought anticipatory bail from the Delhi court, and the Delhi court has heard them out. Siddharth Luthra, senior advocate, has been fighting, or rather arguing, for these two brothers, Saurabh and Gaurav Luthra, who you see there. And those are pictures of them after the detention this morning. Court will deliver its order at 5 p.m. this evening. I'm going across now to Shambhavi. Shambhavi joining us with details of what happened in court. They maintained that they were there on work. Obviously, they were not on work, because you look at the timeline. 11 o'clock fire breaks out, 1 o'clock they booked the ticket, 5 a.m. they've taken off. So it's clear, the timing is clear, it matches. There's no work. Nobody books a ticket if you have work at 1 a.m., 1:17 in the morning to be precise. Audio. Okay, I'm just getting you. I just lost your audio there, Shambhavi. Maybe your mic is off. Let me just bring back your audio there. But this is the timeline. Fire breaks out at 11 p.m. So 11 p.m. the fire breakout happens, and then at 1:17 a.m. they booked the flight using a portal, Make My Trip portal. That was at 1:17 a.m. and at 5:25 the flight took off from Delhi. They fled Delhi and they landed in Phuket. So that's the timeline of how they planned their escape. But in court they claim that they were there on work. Let me see if Shambhavi is back. I'll try and go across to her. Meanwhile, this is the Interpol blue corner notice issued against both the brothers Saurabh Luthra and his brother Gaurav. And in the Interpol notice talking about giving out the full details of these two brothers. This was given out before, of course, they were detained. 1981 born, Gaurav Luthra, passport, date of issue, expiry date, the date the passport itself was procured from Delhi. As per the particulars, 1981 born, Gaurav Luthra was detained today in Phuket. Shambhavi is live now. Shambhavi, what did they claim in court, and how has the Goa government exposed their claims today?
See, this timeline issue is the main thing that has been argued today in the court. And apart from this, one thing is sure, that nobody is ready to take accountability in this case. Be it the third partner who claimed that he is a sleeping partner, so he has zero accountability in this entire matter. And these Luthra brothers, the counsel for these Luthra brothers have claimed in the court that again and again, even yesterday and today itself, they maintained that they are just the license holders and that they don't look after the operational day-to-day operations of all the properties. And even the petition that they filed, they said that they have around 27 properties all across India, and it is not possible for them to make.
Have you been to Goa once or twice? So they are not the ones to be blamed.
Not the ones to be blamed. This was a very strong point which was raised on their end, to which again the counsel for the state of Goa has said that them saying that they fled, they did not flee from the country, they indeed went on some kind of professional engagement, and they said that we were looking at prospective properties there because they're planning to open a restaurant back in Phuket. But the timing of it, as you very rightly pointed out, is a little too convenient for us to believe this theory, given that the fire was around 11:15 to 11:30 p.m. on Saturday, and the flight was booked in the middle of the night at around 1:15 p.m., 1:15 a.m. and then they flee from India. So this was the main argument which was made from the Council of the State of Goa. And now that the court has heard both the parties, there has been rebuttal from both ends. The order has been reserved, and we'll see at 5 p.m. today in which direction does the court decide. Does the court accept and give anticipatory bail for 4 weeks or for whatever time span it deems fit, or it rejects the back?
Okay. Lost the line there. We'll take a short break right now, ladies and gentlemen, and get you some top stories from across the country. Let's get you the top stories on Bharat in 2 on Republic. Okay, so a massive fire broke out at a factory in Jalgaon, Maharashtra. This was at the irrigation factory in the MIDC area. The blaze spread rapidly due to plastic materials that were stored. It's now been brought under control. No casualties were reported. Three people died, 13 were injured following a collision between a car and a tractor near Ayodhya. 4 injured patients were admitted to a hospital, are now in stable conditions. The victims belong to Madhya Pradesh's Rewa district. 2 policemen who were suspended for alleged negligence in the investigation into last year's Porsche car crash have been dismissed from service. A Porsche car allegedly driven by a 17-year-old boy who was drunk at the wheel had fatally run over 2 techies on a motorcycle in Pune last year. A fire broke out at a 6-story commercial building in the offices of SBI after continuous efforts for nearly 24 hours. The firefighters, NDRF, SDRF, assisted by teams from the Guwahati refinery, doused the flames, brought the situation under control. Fire reported at a multi-story building in Sadar Bazaar in the national capital, prompting response from the Delhi Fire Service. The blaze swept through storage units for polythene and plastic bottles. Firefighters were dispatched, multiple water tenders eventually controlling the flames. Authorities confirmed that no casualties or injuries were reported. Getting in some breaking news now on the Election Commission. The Election Commission has extended the SIR period in 6 states. Initial details coming in. SIR period extended in 6 states including in Uttar Pradesh. The SIR period has been extended in Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Andaman and Nicobar Islands. News update coming in. The deadline has been extended so that people get more time to complete their formalities. This includes once again Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Uttar Pradesh, Andaman and Nicobar Islands. India's humanitarian mission in Sri Lanka after Cyclone Luthra has entered a decisive phase. The Indian Army's medical teams, which are operating in Sri Lanka under Operation Sagar Bandhu, have treated over 5,000 patients in just the first 48 hours. Lieutenant Colonel Jagneet Gill, contingent commander of the Indian Army teams deployed in Sri Lanka, has underscored the collaborative nature of this mission. Here are some pictures and the report that came in from Sri Lanka.
The first 48 hours after Cyclone Luthra caused destruction in Sri Lanka, Indian Army treated more than 5,000 patients. India's relief effort in Sri Lanka following Cyclone Luthra has moved into a critical stage now. Under Operation Sagar Bandhu, the Indian Army's medical contingent has already provided care to multiple people who were left injured. The Indian Army contingent, led by Lieutenant Colonel Jagneet Gill, set up a fully equipped mobile hospital in the flood-ravaged district of Trincomalee.
Well, the key facilities that were established by this hospital really depended on the fact that what were the facilities that were already available in this hospital. So the other hospital which has been non-functional, we were basically looking at facilities like the operation theatre, the dental section, the X-ray and the lab facilities. So we have been able to create these facilities. Other than that, we have also been able to create OPDs, which was the hour of the need. So we have been able to create the surgical OPD, the ortho OPD, the dental OPD, as well as family OPD. So we've been able to provide assistance to almost around 5,000, more than 5,000 patients.
The team's priority was to bring immediate, life-saving care to those cut off by the floods, as per Lieutenant Colonel Gill.
When the new age technology that we had employed this time was that we had surveillance drones which were very, very important to find the layouts of the hospital and really helped us to establish it much faster. The other was the HVAC tents which were deployed to create OT in a minimum time. And also, since the layout of the hospital required us that the labs and the facilities for blood collection were far apart, so we could actually use the logistic drones to carry out lab samples and blood samples to the labs, and we could actually enhance our speed and we could get results much faster.
Within 24 hours, the team upgraded a previously non-functional healthcare center. The Indian Army installed an operational theatre, digital X-ray and a fully stocked laboratory in the health center. In addition, they opened OPDs for surgery, dentistry and family health, ensuring a comprehensive package of care. This came as major boost and upgrade to the existing medical infrastructure in Sri Lanka. Cyclone Luthra made landfall on the eastern coast on 20th November, dumping more than 500 mm of rain in 48 hours. The resulting floods submerged 1.1 million hectares, which is roughly 20% of the island's landmass. 2.3 million people were directly exposed to waterborne hazards. The destruction was immense. 7,20,000 buildings were inundated, including 243 health facilities and hundreds of schools. In addition to the medical push, India dispatched 4 more naval vessels to deliver essential relief supplies. Food, water, medicines and shelter kits were provided. The vessels have also provided logistical support for the evacuation of vulnerable civilians.
So in Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, we've seen all kinds of discussion in the last few days, and today's discussion we heard a scandal that was mentioned by one of the parliamentarians. Anurag Thakur, BJP MP, claimed that some TMC MPs are smoking e-cigarettes. That's the latest scandal in Parliament. US trade delegation in India begins its talks. We're getting you the details of the trade talks in a few minutes.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला
सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला
भाई मेरा बेटी को प्यार चाहिए मेरा बेटी का ब्लड आ रहा ब्लड नीचे से ब्लड आ रहा प्यार चाहिए दे दो क्यों नहीं कर सकता क्यों नहीं कर सकता क्यों नहीं कर सकता मेरे को प्यार चाहिए अभी
छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
Endgame for the Luthra brothers. They will be dragged back to India. They've been detained in Phuket. Passport suspended, duo detained. Luthra brothers' deportation process has been initiated from Thailand. The owners of the Goa nightclub, where 25 people were killed, on their way back. Delhi court will resume the hearing on the Luthra's anticipatory bail plea. In fact, at 5 p.m. we're expecting the verdict.
देश भर में ई सिगरेट बैन हो चुकी है। क्या सदन में आपने अलाउ कर दी है?
नहीं, कोई माननीय सदस्य को कोई भी
सर, टीएमसी के सांसद पी रहे हैं सर। सर, टीएमसी के सांसद सर कई दिनों से लगातार बैठ के पी रहे हैं सर।
E-cigarette scandal breaks out inside Parliament. BJP MP Anurag Thakur accuses Trinamool Congress parliamentarians of smoking e-cigarettes in the Parliament premises. US delegation arrives at the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Trade talks are underway. We're getting in some details now that India has, in a swift operation on the 10th of December, which is yesterday, the Coast Guard has apprehended a Pakistani fishing boat with 11-member crew inside the Indian economic zone. Now this underscores sustained maritime operations and India's commitment to securing its maritime frontiers while maintaining robust enforcement of international maritime laws. Continuous vigilance across India's maritime domain remains a cornerstone of our maritime security strategy, is what the Defence PRO has handed out. I'm going across to Ishan, joining us with the details. Ishan, they were held in Indian waters. How far in were they? If you can share some more details with us.
The Indian Coast Guard, in a swift maritime operation, apprehended 11 Pakistani crew members on a boat. This boat was deep inside Indian territorial waters, that is the exclusive economic zone. After this, the Coast Guard has handed over the alleged fishermen over to the police authorities for a detailed investigation. The apprehension has been done under the UN clause jurisdiction of UN clause jurisdiction of international territorial waters. They had been illegally entered into the Indian waters, and after that they were doing activities which upon apprehension, the Indian Coast Guard detecting that they were within the territorial waters in a swift multi-domain operational wherein multiple Coast Guard vessels zeroed in on their location and arrested these intruders, and after arresting them, they have been handed over to the Goa police for further legal procedure and investigations.
Okay. Thank you for joining us with those details. Quick news input that came in from Ishan there. Let's go on and get you some other stories now from across the country. In the national capital, as the winter session of Parliament continues to witness some fierce exchanges between the Treasury and opposition benches. The BJP this morning accused a Trinamool parliamentarian of smoking e-cigarettes inside Lok Sabha. BJP MP Anurag Thakur raising the issue without naming the Trinamool leader, urging the Speaker Om Birla to take note.
एक सर मैं व्यवस्था को लेकर आपसे सवाल पूछना चाहता हूं। देश भर में
एक मिनट, माननीय सदस्य मुझसे सवाल नहीं पूछ सकते।
नहीं सर, आपसे आग्रह करने वाला
आग्रह कर सकते हो,
आपसे आग्रह कर
सर भी ढंग से
बिल्कुल सर, हाथ जोड़ के आपसे पूछ सर सदन की जानकारी के लिए है सर। देश भर में ई सिगरेट बैन हो चुकी है, क्या सदन में आपने अलाउ कर दी है?
नहीं, कोई माननीय सदस्य को कोई भी
सर टीएमसी के सांसद पी रहे हैं सर टीएमसी के सांसद सर कई दिनों से लगातार बैठ के पी रहे हैं सर।
कोई भी माननीय
टीएमसी के सांसद पी रहे हैं सर चेक नहीं सर, आप चेक करवाइए सर।
एक मिनट व्यवस्था
सर, सदन में अगर सिगरेट पीना अलाउ कर दिया है।
एक मिनट प्लीज, मैं सभी माननीय सदस्यों से पुनः आग्रह करता हूं, हमें संसदीय परंपराओं और संसदीय नियमों का अनुपालन करना चाहिए। कोई भी माननीय सदस्य कभी भी ऐसा कोई विषय मेरे पास आएगा तो निश्चित रूप से इस पर मैं निश्चित रूप से कार्रवाई करेंगे।
पार्लियामेंट जिसको हम लोकतंत्र का मंदिर मानते हैं, वहां पर ई सिगरेट लाना ये तो कानून के खिलाफ है। आप कानून के रक्षक है तो कानून के भक्षक पार्लियामेंट में कैसे बन सकते हैं? उसको कंज्यूम करना तो पार्लियामेंट के रूल्स के खिलाफ है कि आप पार्लियामेंट की इस प्रकार से तौहीन नहीं कर सकते। पब्लिकली स्मोक करना ये तो कानून है देश का, नहीं कर सकते। पार्लियामेंट में तो कतई नहीं कर सकते, हाउस के अंदर तो कतई नहीं कर सकते। पर इन तीनों चीजों का उल्लंघन टीएमसी के एक सांसद करते हैं, और इसी के बारे में बड़े दुख के साथ, बड़े दर्द के साथ अनुराग ठाकुर जी ने स्पीकर को अवगत कराया, जिस पर संज्ञान लेते हुए स्पीकर ने भी कहा कि यह पूर्ण तरीके से गलत है, इसके ऊपर पूर्ण जांच होगी, इन्वेस्टिगेट होगा। तो आज सवाल टीएमसी से बनता है कि जब प्रथम दृष्टया इतनी बड़ी घटना हुई है तो क्या वो इस प्रकार की नेगेटिव कीर्ति स्थापित करने वाले अपने सांसद पर समय रहते ही स्वतः कार्रवाई करेंगे या स्पीकर के कार्रवाई का इंतजार करेंगे? क्योंकि आप तो कहते हैं आप तो संविधान के बड़े रक्षक हैं, आंबेडकर जी के बड़े प्रशंसक हैं। तो आंबेडकर जी द्वारा संविधान के तहत लोकतंत्र का जो मंदिर है, उसकी मर्यादा की बार बार अवहेलना करने का जो इतना बड़ा अपराध कर रहे हैं, ऐसे अपराधियों पर क्या कार्रवाई टीएमसी करेगी?
The Trinamool Congress prima facie not denying the allegations while saying that those in charge of monitoring discipline of MPs in the House will look into the matter.
हम क्यों कहेंगे? ये देखना जिसका काम है वो देखेंगे।
लेकिन आपकी पार्टी के सांसदों पर आरोप लग रहा है।
हम फिर बोल रहे हैं, देखिए तृणमूल, वो आपको पता होगा 2021 पे अब की बार 200 पार बोल के मोदी बाबू हार गए, तो वो गुस्सा अभी तक नहीं गए। क्या किया जाएगा? पैसा बंद, खाना बंद, नौकरी बंद, सब कुछ बंद। और उसके साथ साथ मंत्री लोगों ने सदन में आके असत्य भाषण भी बोलने लगा। बहुत अनफॉर्चुनेट है, बोलने दीजिए। फिर हम बोलते हैं कि कोई भी इनडिसिप्लिन होगा तो उसका संभालने के लिए संसद का एक तरीका है, डिसिप्लिन है। अनुराग ठाकुर कोई गुरु ठाकुर नहीं है, वो बोलेंगे हम मान जाएंगे।
A key meeting is underway right now at the residence of Home Minister Amit Shah. Getting the details, JP Nadda, the current BJP chief, and BL Santosh are present in that meeting. We're trying to get more details. Possibly one of the items that could be discussed is on who will be the next BJP president. That's a possibility. And the fact that Amit Shah and JP Nadda are there along with BL Santosh at the organization level. At the organization level, the BJP has delayed this decision. It's possible that the BJP could be taking that decision. The idea was to announce a new BJP president after the Bihar elections, and there is a possibility that that announcement could be made anytime soon. Okay, we'll try and go across to Aishwarya joining us on the phone line. And there has been several meetings, in fact, that have taken place. Aishwarya is on the phone line. Aishwarya, several meetings have taken place, and this decision is well overdue for a very, very long time. What's the latest? Aishwarya? Okay, while we go across to Aishwarya, let's also tell you a few more details that have come forward. There were several meetings, in fact, between BJP top leaders. Amit Shah met the Prime Minister. This was a few days back, about 1 week back, that triggered the buzz on the new BJP chief once again. I think we are getting in some more breaking news right now. Let's first get you some more news before we go back to the details of that meeting that is on. Getting in some details on the Indigo front. We're getting in some details of the meeting that took place with the Indigo CEO, Peter Elbers. We're picking up more details of the meeting, the 2-hour meeting that took place between the DGCA Inquiry Committee and the Indigo CEO. And during the high-level meet convened to address the Indigo crisis, the Inquiry Committee posed several direct pointed questions to the airline CEO regarding operations, refunds, crew management, compensation. And during the meeting, the airline provided information on its new roster plan, refund progress, baggage tracing, flight resumption. Indigo has also provided the committee with information regarding compensation. Now, these are some details of what took place in that meeting between Indigo CEO and the DGCA Inquiry Committee. Chandrakala is on the phone line. Chandrakala, pretty ordinary stuff, nothing extraordinary, asking questions about operations, refunds, crew management, compensation, and almost on cue, we've also had an Indigo statement today saying that extra refund will be given 10,000 credit, etc., etc.
Yes, in fact, a very crucial to our long meeting took place between the DGCA Inquiry Committee and the Indigo CEO here at the DGCA office. Of course, the fact that what we are learning is this high-level meeting was convened to address the Indigo crisis. Of course, the Inquiry Committee has posed many questions related to the crisis and also asked for detailed information as far as the operational, the disruptions or the flight cancellations or flight restoration for that matter is concerned. And of course, it was a direct question being posed to the CEO, the Indigo CEO, regarding operations, refunds, crew management and compensation. Well, of course, the meeting took place for 2 hours and, the airline provided few information on its new roster plan and refund progress, baggage tracing and flight resumption. Well, it also provided the committee with with information regarding compensation. Well, given the fact that we have seen the Indigo CEO mentioning and apologizing for this entire crisis, yet the crisis still remains intact because more and more flights still remain cancelled today morning. We have seen in Bengaluru, in Ahmedabad also yesterday many Indigo flights remains cancelled, and also the fact that many staff, many passengers has complained about as far as the staff are concerned, there has been no such swift actions being taken. So yes, a very crucial meeting has taken place, although we know that the Civil Aviation Ministry has warned Indigo of strict actions, and they have sought a response as far as detailed data and an update on this entire crisis as far as flight restoration is concerned. Although the Indigo CEO has mentioned that 1800 plus flights has resumed, but the fact remains, this entire aviation crisis, when it will be sorted out, because it's been more than a week that of course this crisis happened, and now
Okay, we'll leave it at that. We'll just wait and see if there are more details that come in on the story. As of now, nothing much. Of course, it's DGCA. You can't expect much for the DGCA to do in this particular case. They've gone soft on Indigo all along. They suddenly can't go really hard on Indigo, can they? Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, security forces in Jammu and Kashmir have intensified operations along the international border in Samba and surrounding sectors amid dropping temperatures, heightened concerns of cross-border infiltration. Joint teams of the Jammu and Kashmir's Police Special Operations Group, the SOG, the Army Border Security Force conducting combing drives through forest areas, riverine belts and streams. My colleague Gursimran sent us this report from the border.
Security forces have launched one of its mega operations as part of its winter strategy, and right now we are reporting from the woods of the Samba, where massive search operation is presently underway. As you see, the troops of the Special Operations Group of the Samba, they are carrying out this intensified searches in the deserts and the upper areas that has some riverine structures as well, and this is very close to the Indo-Pakistan international border where these intensified searches are taking place. What they are doing, they are carrying out the searches to ensure that the security forces, they are able to scan everything, because this entire area, the 360-degree view that you see, that this is a dense forest that is in the Samba district, and here it becomes really a major challenge for the security forces, that how they will storm through these forests. So that
Getting in some breaking news right now. Rioter Umar Khalid, along with Sharjeel Imam, they've been fighting for bail for the last few weeks and months. The Delhi court has granted an interim bail to Umar Khalid from 16th December to 29th December. That's about 14 days. 14-day period. It's a 14-day interim bail. I repeat, 14-day interim bail for Umar Khalid. It is for his sister's wedding. He can attend his sister's wedding, and then he will have to go back. He will have to surrender himself again. So it's a quick news alert. We'll go across to Rhythm. We'll just add that 14-day interim bail for Umar Khalid, being tried in the Delhi riots 2020 case. 2020 Delhi riots, one of the instigators, the chief instigators, one of the rioters, along with Sharjeel Imam, who organized the entire riots in which 53 people died. Rhythm is joining me live. Rhythm, 14-day interim bail. It's just a 14-day window. Rhythm?
All right. Even as the Delhi Supreme Court has reserved judgment, Niranjan, on the Umar Khalid bail plea, the Delhi court has granted an interim bail to Umar Khalid, and this is because he has to attend his sister's wedding from 16th to 29th. Remember, this is only for 15 days to attend his sister's wedding. But we are waiting for that main bail, the regular bail that has been asked for in the Supreme Court, and that's a very crucial hearing, like we've been saying. Within the next 7 days, the top court of the country is going to come out with an order in the bails that have been asked for by Umar Khalid, Sharjeel Imam and others. The regime change operation is the main case that the Delhi police and the government has against them. We have to see what happens in that. This is a 15-day bail that has been granted to attend his sister's wedding, and this is on particular grounds in which bail has to be granted, on the basis of which this has been granted now. So Umar Khalid had asked for his sister's wedding. That's on 27 December. The Delhi police had told earlier, remember, the Supreme Court and others that this case may finish soon, and that's when now this bail has been granted by the court.
15 days. Okay, 15-day interim bail. Rhythm, it's important to tell people, remind people about who Umar Khalid is, who Sharjeel Imam is, and how these two people organized the riots, resulting in the deaths, murders, not deaths, murders of 53 people in Delhi.
Don't think you're absolutely right. People also need to understand when the Washington Times and the New York Times talk with sympathy about these people, they are terrorists under the UAPA Act. They wanted a regime change operation not only in Delhi but pan-India. This is what the Delhi police said. I do believe after the evidence that we have seen over the past few years, this case should have been handed over to the NIA. This time the Delhi police had made no stones unturned in the top court of the country to say they had international support. They also, the speeches of Sharjeel Imam Niranjan that you and I have seen, the 8 minutes that have been shown to the Supreme Court, it's very clear they looked at anything they could to use it as a catalyzing effect to ensure that people of the minority community could be galvanized only for their dangerous agenda to break India. They were not successful. The same modus operandi was followed in Dhaka and in Nepal. They were successful there. So very, very dangerous terrorists who have been in prison for the past 5 years. He's been granted bail, but we have to see what happens within the next 7 days in the top court of the country and whether they're granted bail there. I do believe that this is a bench that has heard each side, and after having seen the evidence, these terrorists will continue to be in jail.
Yes. Rhythm, if I can just keep you on that story, because it's critical to get, because nobody knows this case better than you. If you can tell our viewers a little bit about, how these two, especially Sharjeel Imam and Umar Khalid, not just the faces, but how their legal teams, they have the high-profile legal teams, high-profile lawyers, and they've been trying really hard to get out of jail at any cost. They've been fighting for bail. So a little bit about the arguments they've been trying to make in court.
Well, absolutely. The main arguments that have been made is that this is an act that you can't attribute to them because they have not openly said anything that can be seen to be violent. That is what the lawyers for Sharjeel Imam, Umar Khalid and others have said in the court. We've seen several people speak up in the court for these people. The top lawyers of the country have been representing them. But what is very clear also to understand is that the Delhi police opposes the bail, and they've filed this big affidavit in the top court of the country where they say there was a deep-rooted, premeditated, orchestrated conspiracy. It was at a time coinciding with the visit of the U.S. President Donald Trump to India. They spoke about the CAA, but beyond doubt, they said the conspiracy was only to have a regime change operation in India. It was only chosen. The CAA was a radicalizing catalyst, they had said. The conspiracy led to the death, like you said, of 53 people, and there were 753 FIRs registered. It was a pan-India conspiracy. The affidavits have been filed in response to the Supreme Court listening to the bail pleas for the longest time of Sharjeel Imam, Umar Khalid, Gulfisha Fatima, Miran Haider, Shifa ur Rahman. They challenged the Delhi High Court's order that denied them bail. And the police has maintained, SV Raju, the ASG has maintained the conspiracy was hatched, nurtured, executed by these people. They were striking at the very heart of India.
Okay.
They wanted a regime change.
Thank you, Rhythm. Thank you for joining us with those details. We'll leave it at that. It's a 14 to 15-day reprieve, 15 days. That's it for his sister's wedding. So he will be out for exactly 15 days and he'll have to go back in. He'll have to go back in and surrender. Ladies and gentlemen, for the last 5 days, today is the 5th day, started on Sunday, today is Thursday. For 5 days, we've been reporting endlessly on the Goa nightclub fire and the corruption that caused the fire. It's endgame for the Luthra brothers. This morning, their free run ended after they were detained in Thailand following an international alert. A series of steps were taken, including moving the Interpol, and the owners of the Goa Birch by Romeo Lane nightclub are now staring at a swift deportation, which could happen, by the way, within the next 24 hours. And the arrest, a possible arrest, the moment they land in India. Their matter in court, they've moved for anticipatory bail, and it's being heard, rather has been heard and will be delivered in about roughly 8 minutes. 5 p.m. is when the verdict is expected. And what happens next is something we're all watching out for closely. Here's how they were caught this morning, how their run ended in Phuket, Thailand.
A massive breakthrough in the Goa club blaze case. Hours after their 72-hour run abroad ended, the Luthra brothers, Gaurav and Saurabh, were detained in Phuket by Thai authorities. The detention came after Indian agencies triggered a blue corner notice and activated the India-Thailand extradition framework that has been operational since 2015. The duo is currently in immigration custody in Thailand, where documentation and identity verification are underway, the first step before deportation. So, what is next? Once Thai immigration completes paperwork, they will issue what is effectively a deportation order. Unlike a full extradition trial, deportation is usually faster and based on immigration violations or overstaying alerts. Indian officials from Goa Police and CBI's Interpol wing are already coordinating with the Indian Embassy in Bangkok to secure an early travel warrant. If all clearances move without delay, officials say the brothers could be put on a flight to India within the next 48 to 72 hours. The moment they land, they will be arrested. Goa police have already prepared transit remand paperwork and a detailed case file, including fire department findings and digital evidence of ticket bookings minutes after the blaze. Diplomatic channels expect no resistance from Thailand, given the seriousness of the case and the prior Interpol alert. Once in India, the Luthra brothers will face custodial interrogation, reconstruction of the crime scene, and confrontation with technical evidence already gathered. Investigators allege the brothers fled within 90 minutes of the fire, booking tickets to Phuket at 1:17 a.m. while rescue operations were still underway. Luthra's brothers' defense say they did not flee but traveled to Thailand for business purposes, an argument they also placed before a Delhi court while seeking transit anticipatory bail. Meanwhile, back in Goa, the probe is widening. Police have arrested 6 people so far, including partner Ajay Gupta, who has been brought back for questioning. A lookout circular is also out for British national Surinder Kumar Khosla, the property owner of the club, who is still untraceable. For now, all eyes are on Thailand, where the final deportation order comes through and when the escorted flight back to India is confirmed. A process that began with a blue corner notice is now in its last leg, the handover. And once Luthra brothers return, the investigation enters its most crucial phase yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's a big story that's developing in Tamil Nadu. It has been for the last few weeks on the Deepam controversy in Kundram Hill in Madurai. The RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat has spoken on this issue, saying Hindu awakening. He's spoken about Hindu awakening and how that only that is enough to resolve most issues.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला। MDH।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा, मसाला।
भाई मेरा बेटी को प्यार चाहिए, प्यार। मेरा बेटी का ब्लड आ रहा, ब्लड नीचे से ब्लड आ रहा, प्यार चाहिए, दे दो। क्यों नहीं कर सकता? क्यों नहीं कर सकता? क्यों नहीं कर सकता? मेरे को प्यार चाहिए अभी।
MDH की देगी मीरज,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मीरज। प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ, 8 मिनट में तैयार। क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for staying with us this Thursday. You're watching Live and Breaking at 5 p.m. with me, Ayana Mitra. Viewers, at least 100 opposition MPs have moved an impeachment motion against Justice Swaminathan, who's a judge of the Madras High Court, over a judgment that he passed in favor of Hindus. What is this controversy all about, and why is it that the opposition is so rattled with a judgment that essentially favors the rights and sentiments of Hindus? We'll get you the details of all that and a lot more, but first the headlines this hour. Delhi court grants interim bail to Umar Khalid in Delhi riots' larger conspiracy case. Luthra brothers, owners of Goa Club, seen handcuffed after detention in Thailand's Phuket.
Reckoning of Hindus in Tamil Nadu, I think it is enough to bring about the desired result.
RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat speaks on Madurai. Deepam Rao says can be resolved by Hindu strength.
देश भर में ई सिगरेट बैन हो चुकी है, क्या सदन में आपने अलाउ कर दी है?
नहीं, कोई माननीय सदस्य को कोई भी
सर टीएमसी के सांसद पी रहे हैं सर टीएमसी के सांसद सर कई दिनों से लगातार बैठ के पी रहे हैं सर।
Amid winter session of Parliament, e-cigarette scandal breaks out inside the Lok Sabha. BJP MP Anurag Thakur accuses TMC MP of smoking e-cigarettes in the lower house. A US delegation arrived at the Ministry of Commerce and Industry earlier today for the India-US trade talks. All right, viewers, RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat issued a statement just a short while back, and he has expressed confidence that the temple issue, the Madurai temple issue in Tamil Nadu can be resolved by Hindus, citing the strength of Hindus collectively in the state. He has said that the escalation is not necessary at this point, but if needed, Hindu organizations in the state of Tamil Nadu will inform them. The RSS chief has emphasized that the issue will be resolved favorably for Hindus and they will do whatever it takes. Issue revolves around a Madras High Court order allowing the devotees to light a lamp at a stone pillar near a dargah, which the Tamil Nadu government has appealed for in the Supreme Court. And this is essentially in regards to the judgment that was earlier passed by Justice Swaminathan, who's a Madras High Court judge. Let's first listen in to that statement that came in earlier from the RSS chief.
If it needs escalation, it will be done. But I don't think it needs so. The matter is now sub judice. Let it resolve. The awakening of Hindus in Tamil Nadu, I think it is enough to bring about the desired result. But if at all it is needed, the Hindu organizations are working in Tamil Nadu also. They will let us know, then we will think about it. But at present, I think the issue can be resolved here only on basis of the Hindus' strength in Tamil Nadu only. If it needs escalation, it will be done. But I don't think it needs so. The matter is now sub judice. Let it resolve. The awakening of Hindus in Tamil Nadu, I think it is enough to bring about the desired result. But if at all it is needed, the Hindu organizations are working in Tamil Nadu also. They will let us know, then we will think about it. But at present, I think the issue can be resolved here only on basis of the Hindus' strength in Tamil Nadu only.
Okay, let's go across to Sharda, who joins us live from Madurai in Tamil Nadu. She's been tracking the story very, very closely. Sharda, clearly the judgment that has been passed by the Madras High Court judge has rattled a certain section of the opposition. They've moved an impeachment motion in the Lok Sabha. Give us the latest details that you're picking up in this entire controversy. That's number one. And also take us through the response that has come in from the BJP and the NDA and how they essentially plan to take on the opposition.
Well, the latest in relation to the Tirupurukundram row comes where the case that was adjourned at the Madurai bench of High Court will be heard tomorrow, where the district collectorate and the commissioner of the Madurai city should respond to judge's question on the contempt of why the lamp was not lit on December 3 and December 4 as per the orders that was passed on December 1. And now following the adjournment is when the people, the Hindu people, will be protesting outside the Tirupurukundram temple. Day after tomorrow, the judge has given them a permission of 50 people to hold a silent protest and also made sure that the people protesting should not target one particular regional party or political party and blame them for what has happened. And also the recent updates that coming from Tirupurukundram, where we are standing right now, is the hill is now shut down for the people to go up and pray at the Kasi Vishwanath temple. As you can see, the hill behind me, it's completely shut. It's also said that the people are not allowed to enter, though section 144 has been implemented and removed. The police continue to make sure that nobody is sent up the hill. And also about the BJP and the RSS and the AIADMK, the opposition responding to DMK, says that the DMK continues to call themselves a secular party, but when it comes to Sanatan Dharma or Hindu religion or anything that's related to the culture and is not able to make sure that what has happened with the Tirupurukundram hill, as you can see, the hill is now completely devoid of people, where nobody is going. As you can see, the hilltop temple, and behind that is the dargah. And the DMK and the BJP continue to tell that the communal harmony among the people is good, but it is now turning into a political war more than a legal war in the state of Tamil Nadu. DMK continues to state that to not hurt the sentiments of the people who go to dargah, whereas the BJP continues to say that there is a law that's already passed in 1994 where 15 meters away from the dargah, people are allowed to light the lamp. And now the DMK's HRNC, the temple administration that comes under the Minister Shekhar Babu, who is a close aide of MK Stalin, continues to say that the order passed in 2014 by the Supreme Court should be followed, whereas they are not ready to follow what Judge G.R. Swaminathan said. As we know, Judge G.R. Swaminathan also got a latest threat from on Facebook, on social media, multiple people threatening him, telling that if he allows them to light the lamp on Tirupurukundram hill, there will be a communal riot in Tamil Nadu.
Yeah. Sharda, I want you to stay on with me, and as you keep giving us the details about what we can expect next, I want you to move around and show us that exact spot. You can show us the visuals of that temple, because we understand this is the same spot where the BJP had earlier held protest, during the course of which many of the opposition leaders in the state of Tamil Nadu had been detained. I want you to take us through details of what had happened earlier while showing us the visuals of that temple, which is now at the center of this controversy.
Well, on December 1, after the orders was passed, December 3, this is the place where multiple people came thronging and also protested to let them enter. As you can see, the steps of the temple are right side, behind the small temple. There's a way in it, but police have entirely blocked that area where we cannot go. And to the left is the way to Dargah, where you can also see the forest line. And if you dig deeper into it, you can also see the policemen standing there with barricades, not allowing the people to go. Even in that way, there's also two other way behind the hill. We also tried entering through that today morning, but there's complete security by the police, and this is the hill that they are protecting. This hill has both the Subramaniam Swami temple, the Kasi Vishwanath temple, the Dargah, and also one of Ganesh temple. 3 temples and 1 Dargah, where 3 temples have proved that it was built centuries ago, whereas the Dargah was built 70 years back, when just before the World War. And also the fight that's going on is not between the Dargah and the temple, but not between the people of the Dargah or the temple, but a political turmoil that's been creating in Tamil Nadu the last 10 days, saying that to not hurt the sentiments of the minority, especially the Muslim minority, the DMK is trying to make sure that the Hindu temples do not follow the traditions that they have been following for many years. And this is where the BJP also protested just 5 days back, where the president of the state, Nainar Nagendran, was also arrested when he wanted to go up the hill on December 4th to light the lamp. And now the problem still continues, where the court has adjourned the case, and also the Supreme Court is yet to decide whether the DMK's appeal that was given to them will be taken into account or not.
All right, Sharda, thank you very much for giving us those details. We'll keep a close watch on those developments, viewers. It's also the 9 p.m. debate this evening. Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, Union Home Minister Amit Shah has accused the opposition parties of appeasement politics, criticizing their move to impeach Justice G.R. Swaminathan of the Madras High Court's Madurai bench. This was a statement by the Union Home Minister in Lok Sabha yesterday. Listen in.
कोई जज आजादी के इतने साल में नहीं हुआ है मान्यवर कि कोई जज एक जजमेंट दे तो जज के खिलाफ इंपीचमेंट लेकर आते हैं। अपनी वोट बैंक को एड्रेस करने के लिए इंपीचमेंट लेकर आते हैं मान्यवर। और ये सारे ने तो साइन कर दिया, साथ ही साथ उद्धव जी ने भी साइन कर दिया। उद्धव जी, जजमेंट क्या है? एक पहाड़ी पर मान्यता है कि हाँ सबसे ऊपर दिया जलाया जाए। मान्यवर, एक वोट बैंक को संभालने के लिए एक हाईकोर्ट के जज के सामने इंपीचमेंट लेकर आए हैं। देश की जनता उनको मदद नहीं करे।
All right, viewers, the Tamil Nadu Deepam Rao, top focus on Republic TV. For the moment, we move on to everything else that is making news across the country at this hour. This is Bharat in 2 minutes. A massive fire broke out at the irrigation factory in Jalgaon's MIDC area. Officials confirmed the blaze, which spread rapidly due to plastic materials, has been brought under control with no casualties reported. 3 people died and 13 were injured in a collision between a car and a tractor near Ayodhya in Uttar Pradesh. 4 injured patients were admitted in a hospital, are in stable condition now. The victims belong to Madhya Pradesh's Rewa district. Two police officials who were suspended for alleged negligence in the investigation into last year's Pune Porsche car crash have been dismissed from service. Porsche car allegedly driven by a 17-year-old boy in an inebriated condition had fatally run over 2 techies on a motorcycle in Pune last year. A major fire broke out at a 6-story commercial building and the offices of SBI. After continuous efforts of nearly 24 hours, the firefighters, NDRF, SDRF teams assisted by teams from Guwahati refinery doused the flames and brought the situation under control. No casualties have been reported. A fire erupted at a multi-story building in Sadar Bazaar, prompting response from the Delhi Fire Services. The blaze swept through storage units for polythene and plastic bottles. Firefighters dispatched multiple water tenders, eventually controlling the flames. Authorities confirmed that no casualties or injuries have been reported. The cause of the fire is being investigated.
एलओसी खोली और रीजनल पासपोर्ट ऑफिस को पासपोर्ट कैंसिलेशन के लिए कहा। हमारी गोवा पुलिस की पूरी टीम और गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया की सभी सेंट्रल एजेंसीज़, हमने जब सेंट्रल एजेंसीज़ को रिक्वेस्ट किया, मैंने खुद होके होम मिनिस्टर, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स इनको रिक्वेस्ट करने के बाद उनके हेल्प से उनको आज सुबह सुबह थाईलैंड यहाँ पे डिटेन किया है। मैं सही में यानी विद इन द 4 days इस तरह के जो इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे जो कोई भागता है उनको फास्ट ट्रैक तरीके से उनको डिटेन करने की पहली बार इस तरह से उनको डिटेन किया है। हमारी गोवा की टीम और सेंट्रल एजेंसीज के टीम के द्वारा यानी वहाँ से जो डिटेन किए दोनों जो क्लब ओनर्स हैं उनको वो गोवा में लाएंगे। जो मैंने खुद होके कहा था कि उनको जितना जल्दी हो सके उतना जल्दी हम बिहाइंड द बार्स उनको डालेंगे और इसीलिए उनको बहुत ही जल्दी हम गोवा में लेके आएंगे और इनके खिलाफ जो सख्त कारवाई ओपन केली, तांकां ब्लू कॉर्नर नोटीस सर्व केली आणि ताज्या उपरांत तांकां रिजनल पासपोर्ट ऑफिस हाका तांचो पासपोर्ट कॅन्सलेशनाक धाडलो। विथ द गव्हर्मेंट ऑफ इंडिया सेंट्रल एजन्सीज म्हणजे होम डिपार्टमेंट, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स हांच्या सगळ्यांच्या सहकार्यांत आमी तांकां आज सकाळी फुडें डिटेन करपाक शकले। पर्सनली हांव म्हणजे होम मिनिस्ट्री आनी मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स आनी सगळ्यो एजन्सीज हांकां धन्यवाद म्हणटा की विदीन 4 दिसाच्या भितर ही केस पुराय क्रॅक करता आसतना तांकां दोगांयको आमी थंय डिटेन केला। थोड्याच दिसाच्या भितर आमची स्पेशल गव्हर्मेंट ऑफ गोवा पुलीस आनी CBI पुलीस थंय वचून तांकां पर्सनली गोंयांत हाडटले। हांवें जे पर्सनली सांगलेलें की विदीन शॉर्ट स्पॅन ऑफ अ टायम तांकां बिहायंड द बार आमी उडयतले। म्हाका खरोखरूच बरें दिसता की पुलिसांनी प्रॉम्प्ट रित्या आनी सेंट्रल एजन्सीनी काम करून म्हणजे ह्या लोकांक परत एकदा बिहायंड द बार हाडपा खातीर सगळ्या जाणांनी फास्ट ट्रॅक पद्दतीचेर काम केलें। अजूनय बी म्हणजे अशा पद्दतीचे हे इन्व्हेस्टिगेशन्स ह्या केसीचे पुराय चालू उरतले आनी सगळ्या जाणांक जेका कोणाक जितकी कायद्यानुसार तांकां शिक्षा दिवपाक मेळटा तितकी तांकां शिक्षा दितले हेजे हांव खात्रीशीर सांगू शकता। एक मिनिट, त्यांचो प्रोसिजर जो आसा आमच्यो गोवा पुलीस सेंट्रल एजन्सीज कडेन उलयत आसा आनी पर्सनली हांगासल्यान धाडल्या उपरांतूच तांकां हे गोंयांत जाता तितके बेगीन हाडटले। मैं सबसे पहले मैं गोवा पुलिस और सेंट्रल एजेंसीज CBI हो या मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ होम अफेयर्स, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स, इनका मैं बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूँ कि विदिन द 4 days जो एक्चुअली फायर इंसिडेंट गोवा में हुआ, इसको 6 लोगों को हमने अरेस्ट किया। जो एक्चुअल क्लब ओनर थे, जो 3 क्लब ओनर थे, उसमें से एक क्लब ओनर को हमने दिल्ली से उठा के गोवा में लेके आए। दो क्लब ओनर जो उसी दिन सुबह सुबह जो इंडिया छोड़ के थाईलैंड चले गए थे, इनके खिलाफ कार्रवाई करते वक्त हमारे गोवा पुलिस ने उनके LOC खोली, उनको ब्लू कॉर्नर नोटिस जारी की और रीजनल पासपोर्ट ऑफिस को उनका पासपोर्ट कैंसिलेशन करने के लिए भी हमने डाला। विद द हेल्प ऑफ द मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ द एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स और द मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ द होम हमने उनको आज थाईलैंड में डिटेन किया है। विदिन अ शॉर्ट स्पैन ऑफ अ टाइम द गोवा पुलिस की टीम और द CBI गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया के सहकार्य से उसको थाईलैंड से गोवा लेके आएंगे। मैंने जो कहा था कि इनको विदिन द शॉर्ट स्पैन ऑफ अ टाइम हम इनको अरेस्ट करके गोवा लेके आएंगे। मैं जिन जिन एजेंसियों का मदद हुई है उन सब का मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूँ, क्योंकि इन्होंने प्रॉम्प्ट रीत्या इतने बहुत ही विदिन अ शॉर्ट स्पैन ऑफ अ टाइम उन्होंने प्रॉम्प्ट केस क्रैकडाउन की है। बस इतना ही नहीं, जो 3 ऑफिसर्स को हमने सस्पेंड किया था, जो 2 ऑफिसर्स कॉपरेट कर रहे हैं, इनमें से जो एक ऑफिसर्स कॉपरेट नहीं कर रहा है, मुझे लगता है कि पुलिस लगा तो उसको कल तक उसको भी हम अरेस्ट करेंगे। इफ़ ही इज़ नॉट कॉपरेटिंग, उसकी इन्वेस्टिगेशन अच्छी तरह से चलती रहेगी। बाकी एजेंसीज जिनको यानी मजिस्ट्रियल इंक्वायरी इसका रिपोर्ट चल रहा है, उसका रिपोर्ट आते ही उसके ऊपर हम एक्शन लेंगे। मैं फिर एक बार यानी हमारी गोवा पुलिस और द मिनिस्टर ऑफ एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स, होम अफेयर्स, मैंने खुद होके होम मिनिस्टर्स, इवन दो द PM ने कंसर्न व्यक्त किया था इसके बारे में, यानी पहले ही दिन ऑनरेबल PM हैड कॉल मी और उसके बारे में इंक्वायरी उन्होंने की थी। खुद होम मिनिस्टर ने इस इंसिडेंट के बाद यानी बाकी सब की इंक्वायरी खुद कर रहे थे। मैं सभी का बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूँ क्योंकि उनको लाने के लिए द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया और हमारे पुलिस ने बहुत ही अच्छा काम किया है। मुझे लगता है कि जितना जल्दी हो सके तो गोवा पुलिस और द CBI और बाकी गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया की एजेंसीज इनको लेके बहुत ही जल्दी गोवा में आएंगे। उनके ऊपर स्ट्रिक्ट कार्रवाई करते वक्त उनको हम बिहाइंड द बार डालेंगे।
कब तक ले आएंगे सर? कब तक लाएंगे?
इट विल, मुझे लगता है कि जितना जल्दी हो सके उतना जल्दी हम उनको यहाँ से लाएंगे।
गोवा पुलिस की टीम जाएगी सर, थाईलैंड जाएगी?
खुद गोवा पुलिस और CBI की टीम वहाँ से जाएगी। ऑन द सेम केसीस जी केस हांगासर जाल्ली ताज्या बेसिसीर थायलंड पुलिसांक कळयल्या उपरांतूच तांच्यांनी थंयसर तांकां डिटेन केल्ले आसा।
गोंया ह्या पळय ते एक सील मार लावन हाडपाक येता तितून ते कितें हे बीन गावला तितून
तांचो जो दुसरो क्लब आशिल्लो ताजेर वायोलेशन आशिल्लें, जे वायोलेशन दे हॅव एनक्रोच्ड इन अवर टुरिजम प्रॉपर्टी, दे हॅव वायोलेटेड समथिंग CRZ that we have demolished. Henceforth this type of CRZ violation or encroachment on our property will not tolerate.
सर, जो गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसर के बारे में आपने बताया कि उनके ऊपर भी एक्शन हो सकता है, वो सस्पेंडेड है और उन्हें अरेस्ट किया जा सकता है, क्या लग रहा है वो बिल्कुल कोऑपरेट नहीं कर रहे?
3 गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसर थे, उनमें से 2 ऑफिसर्स जो दोनों लेडी ऑफिसर थी वो कोऑपरेट कर रही हैं। वो इन्वेस्टिगेशन के लिए कल दोनों पुलिस स्टेशन में आके चली गई हैं, जो सभी अच्छी तरह से कोऑपरेट कर रहे हैं, तो उनके ऊपर इन्वेस्टिगेशन इज गोइंग ऑन। लेकिन द एक ऑफिसर्स ही इज नॉट कोऑपरेटिंग, ही हैज नॉट कम टू द पुलिस स्टेशन, तो इसके ऊपर कार्रवाई होगी। मुझे लगता है कि आज जब मैं मीटिंग रिव्यू ले रहा था तो ही हैज मूड फॉर द एंटीसिपेटरी बिल, पता नहीं, लेकिन कल तक हम उसको उठा के अंदर करेंगे।
जो लूथरा ब्रदर्स ने कोर्ट में अपनी बाजू रखी, उसमें उन्होंने ये कहा है कि वो विक्टिम है, उनको सरकार गोवा की जानबूझ के टारगेट कर रही है।
उन दोनों को हमें अरेस्ट करना था क्योंकि दे आर द क्लब के ओनर्स हैं, इसलिए यानी जहाँ पे उन्होंने एंटीसिपेटरी बेल लगाई है, हमारे सीनियर काउंसिल्स उस केस गोवा सरकार की तरफ से लड़ रहे, तो डेफिनेटली उनको हमारी केस हम उसको डिटेन करने में हम कामयाब हो गए। आगे इस तरह की दुर्घटना न हो इसीलिए मैंने कहा कि एनफोर्समेंट की टीम ऑलरेडी हमने लगाई है। कल से हमारी एनफोर्समेंट टीम इस तरह के हाई फुटफॉल वाले जितने सारे क्लब्स या रेस्टोरेंट हैं वहाँ पे खुद जा रहे हैं। उस एनफोर्समेंट टीम में सीनियर स्केल ऑफिसर्स हो, द फायर सेफ्टी ऑफिसर, कंस्ट्रक्शन बिल्डिंग कंस्ट्रक्शन के ऑफिसर्स, इवन दो द फायर इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का जो इंजीनियर्स वहाँ जाके विजिट कर रहे हैं, उसका चेकलिस्ट बना रहे हैं। इट इज़ ऑलमोस्ट द चेकलिस्ट एट गिवन, और हमें जहाँ जहाँ पे मेजर वायलेशन मिलते हैं उस मेजर वायलेशन में के क्लब्स हम बंद करेंगे। मैंने पहले ही कहा है, उसका रिपोर्ट विद इन अ शॉर्ट स्पैन ऑफ अ टाइम दे विल सबमिट द रिपोर्ट ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दैट एंड विल क्लोज डाउन देयर क्लब्स।
होम डिपार्टमेंट कितना सीरियसली लिया सर, कितना चैलेंजिंग लिया था ये होम डिपार्टमेंट से?
मैंने पहले ही कहा है कि होम डिपार्टमेंट की तरफ से 3 इशू यानी इन फ्यूचर इस तरह के इंसिडेंट न हो। वन विच इज एन ऑडिट करने के लिए जो टीम हमने रखी है, दे आर डूइंग द ओवरऑल ऑडिट ऑफ दिस इंसिडेंट, और बाकी सभी जितने सारे रेस्टोरेंट्स क्लब्स हैं उसका ऑडिट करेंगे और दे विल गिव द सजेशन। सेकंड, वी हैड गिवन द एडवाइजरी टू ऑल दिस टाइप ऑफ क्लब्स, एंड थर्ड इज एन एनफोर्समेंट कमेटी जो बिठाई है। तो नॉर्थ और साउथ गोवा के इस तरह के सभी क्लब वो खुद पर्सनली जाके विजिट कर रहे हैं और उसको अकॉर्डिंग टू डेट विल टेक द एक्शन। होम डिपार्टमेंट किसी भी तरह से इस तरह के इंसिडेंट इन फ्यूचर विल नॉट टॉलरेट।
ब्लू कॉर्नर नोटिस में मैनस्लॉटर का एलिगेशन लगाया हुआ, उन पे आरोप लगाया है, किस तरह की कार्रवाई हम गोवा सरकार द्वारा उन पे देखेंगे?
मैं एट प्रेजेंट तो बस आपको इतना ही कहता हूँ, क्योंकि जिस तरह के उनको ब्लू कॉर्नर की नोटिस निकाली है उनको एक बार आके बिहाइंड द बार हम डालेंगे। रेस्ट ऑल द इन्वेस्टिगेशंस और हमारी पुलिस बाकी सभी एक्शन उसके ऊपर लेंगे। हांव परत एकदा सांगता, म्हाका दिसता बरेचशे डॉक्युमेंट हांव पब्लिकांनी पळयता की ज्या पद्दतीत कोणी कितें जे खंयच्या पेपरांचेर कोणी सायन मारल्या पळय न्ही तांचेर ती कारवाई जातली। हांव इतकेंच सांगता, कारण एखाद्या ट्रेड लायसनाचेर बाकीचें सगळें जें जालां ताज्या उपरांत बाकी सगळें जें एक्शन जालां त्या खातीर ज्यांनी कोणी असल्या पद्दतीच्यो परमिशन दिल्या तांचेर कारवाई जातली। थँक्यू।
All right, that was the new statement that was coming in from Goa Chief Minister, beg your pardon, viewers, Pramod Sawant on the detention of the Luthra brothers earlier this morning in Thailand. He mentions that the Goa government is closely in touch, in contact with the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Ministry of External Affairs in ensuring the smooth deportation of the Luthra brothers back to Goa, where they will be tried. In the case, they will be brought to the club. They will be extensively interrogated about the ownership of the club and their whereabouts on the night of the 7th of December. Swarali is live with us from Panji in Goa. She's been tracking the story very, very closely. Swarali, that was the fresh statement that was coming in from the Goa Chief Minister. He seems very optimistic about the measures that the Goa government has taken in the aftermath of the incident. I want to understand from you, as far as the detention of these brothers is concerned, they were detained earlier this morning. Throughout the course of the day, how far has the initiation process of a deportation reached? How soon can we expect them to be dragged back to India?
Yes, that's true. That might take some time, as the Goa CM Pramod Sawant has informed, but a team from Goa will fly to Phuket in Thailand to get them back deported back to India. Now, all the information has been given by Goa CM Pramod Sawant on the current process and procedure that is going on right now regarding the deportation, and he has thanked the Ministry of External Affairs. On the other hand, he has also thanked Government of India. He has appreciated Goa Police to take quick actions as soon as, if we see the sequence of actions, it was quick, so he has appreciated. And now he has said that as soon as Luthra brothers were the major alleged perpetrators in this Goa fire tragedy, whenever they are brought back, the arrest will be done soon.
Right. Swarali, one of the central focal points of the investigation that came to the fore yesterday was how certain officers were also allegedly involved in, sort of shielding the Luthra brothers, in the sense that they had essentially stopped the authorities, the police, from taking legitimate action on all these nightclubs that were operating without a fire NOC, that were operating without, valid documents. What are the measures that the government is currently looking at to take against these officers?
The magistral inquiry is going on. जिसने लाइसेंस दिया था और बाकी इसके ऊपर जैसे ही मैजिस्ट्रेट इंक्वायरी का रिपोर्ट आएगा तो फिर जिन्होंने लाइसेंस दिया है इनके ऊपर सख्त कार्रवाई की जाएगी. He will also booked under the same sections.
फायरवर्क्स चल रहे थे बिना लाइसेंस के, बिना
मैंने वही बताया है कि ईच एंड एवरीथिंग जिसको यानी वही सेक्शन के अंदर हम सबको बुक करेंगे.
कहा जा रहा था कि और ऑफिस
मैं बस इतना अभी कहूंगा कि उनको जितना जल्दी ला सके उस क्लब ओनर को गोवा में लेके आएंगे.
All right, that was my colleague Swarali asking questions to the Goa Chief Minister on the action that the government is likely to take on the officers who are allegedly involved in this case, essentially trying to stop the authorities from taking legitimate action on the Birch brothers and the nightclubs that were illegally operating across Goa. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll keep a very, very close watch on that. Also, the debate with Arnab Goswami at 8 p.m. this evening. And it's time to slip into a very short break, but on the other side, we'll get you the details of that critical statement that has been made by the RSS chief, Mohan Bhagwat, amid the Deepam Rao that has now taken Tamil Nadu by storm. And amid the winter session of Parliament, an e-cigarette scandal has broken out inside the lower house, that is the Lok Sabha, after BJP has accused a TMC MP of smoking inside the house. We'll get you the details on that after a quick break.
It's an issue which I would call a divergence. I would say there are discussions and negotiations going on.
Yeah. I am Francesco Russo from AGI Newswire. I would like to ask to both ministers, what are the most difficult issues to solve now in order to finalize the trade agreement between the European Union and India?
As I just said, every issue is important and no issue is such that it cannot be resolved to mutual satisfaction. So there are issues under discussion. Negotiations are done behind a closed door and not in a press conference. As we resolve those issues, we'll certainly come back to you with a good announcement of a fair, equitable and balanced trade agreement.
Sir, Anurag Joshi from ET Now. Realistically, by when are you looking to close the trade deal with the European Union?
European Union is a very valued partner. 27 nations collectively with a large over $20 trillion economy. India is the world's fastest growing large economy as a nation. We are $4 trillion slated to become a $30 or $35 trillion economy by 2047. And therefore the delta of opportunity on both sides is quite large. When you are looking at a free trade agreement, you are normally looking at the future. And you are planning for a long sustained future of 20, 30, 40 years. And you will appreciate that such an important agreement between two large economies, between two economies of a size and scale which will be a defining agreement of the 21st century. Obviously, it takes time. Obviously, we have a lot of things to consider. You need to crystal gaze into the future. You need to ensure that sensitivities on both sides are protected. And you need to grab the low-hanging fruits so that businesses and people of both sides can benefit. So give it some time. Let's not rush into things and never negotiate with a deadline. Negotiation should always be with a sense of urgency, but never in haste. Thank you.
Ashish, we'll come to you.
Sir, in your earlier remarks, this is Saurabh from NDTV. Sir, you've been negotiating multiple agreements, and of course, this is to both of you. And in your earlier remarks, you mentioned, you made a Godfather reference, and and you said, "Give me a deal I cannot refuse." If you could share a little bit about what is that, what makes it a deal you cannot refuse?
The best part, Excellency, is that press goes around in circles to come back to the same question again and again. I think that's a very good attempt to try and get information about what is happening in the deal. But at the cost of repetition, my friend, negotiations happen behind the closed door in the negotiating room, not before the press and television cameras. But if Excellency would like to share what makes a good deal between European Union and India.
But for us, this agreement is very important. Also for Italy, of course, we need to talk. There are problems, but I think it's possible to achieve the goal. I want to be optimistic. Beginning next year.
Okay, that was the briefing by Union Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal on the progress of the talks on the India-European Union trade deal. The Commerce Minister essentially going on to mention that with India being the fastest growing economy in the world, viewers, a free trade agreement between India and its most critical partner, the European Union, will be a win-win situation for both sides. Delhi court grants interim bail to Umar Khalid in Delhi riots' larger conspiracy case. Luthra brothers, owners of Goa Club, seen handcuffed after detention in Thailand.
In Tamil Nadu, I think it is enough to bring about the desired result.
RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat speaks on Madurai. Deepam Rao says can be resolved via Hindu strength.
पर सर देश भर में ई सिगरेट बैन हो चुकी है, क्या सदन में आपने अलाउ कर दी है?
नहीं, कोई मान्य सदस्य को कोई भी
सर टीएमसी के सांसद पी रहे हैं सर टीएमसी के सांसद सर कई दिनों से लगातार बैठ के पी रहे हैं सर।
Amid winter session of Parliament, e-cigarette scandal breaks out inside the Lok Sabha. BJP MP Anurag Thakur accuses TMC MP of smoking cigarettes, e-cigarettes. Right, viewers, we have some big breaking news coming in. This one from the Rohini court in the national capital, where the anticipatory bail plea of the Luthra brothers, Gaurav and Saurabh Luthra, have now been dismissed by the Rohini court. That is the big breaking news at the moment. Remember, earlier today, the Rohini court had resumed the hearing in which the counsel for the Luthra brothers had essentially made a case that bail and protection is necessary for them so that they can come back to India and join the investigation. But the counsel on behalf of the Goa government in court made a strong case for the fact that it was very easy for this duo, the Luthra brothers duo, to flee the country barely hours after the fire broke out at the Birch nightclub. They tried to evade arrest, they tried to evade responsibility and accountability in the matter, and that is extremely important that the court essentially deny them any anticipatory bail so that they can be deported back to the country and tried in the case. That is the big breaking news that we are getting in at the moment. Luthra brothers essentially now facing arrest in India upon landing in the country. Big setback. Viewers, in fact, early this morning, both of them, they were detained in Thailand by the Royal Thai Police, post which they were, as we speak, they are being kept in a detention center at the immigration premises in Phuket in Thailand. The authorities have essentially suspended the passports of the Luthra brothers, and they also face the risk of a complete revocation of their passport. This is something that the Goa government has appealed to the Ministry of External Affairs. And now we learn that with the deportation process already having been initiated, this is yet another setback for the Luthra duo, with the Delhi court now dismissing the anticipatory bail plea of Gaurav and Saurabh Luthra. So no legal recourse for the duo, ladies and gentlemen. They have to be dragged back to the country, and they are set to face trial in Delhi in the Goa nightclub tragedy. All right, on this note, I am also being joined by Deputy Executive Editor Shravan Sen in the studio, who will take us through more details in the case. All right, we'll connect to Shravan in just a bit, but I'm also being joined by Shambhavi, who's joining us with more details about what happened inside court from outside the Rohini court. Shambhavi, over to you. All right, we'll connect to Shambhavi in just a moment, viewers, but that is the big breaking news that is now coming in. The Luthra brothers essentially facing arrest upon their landing in the national capital. Earlier in court today, the counsel had repeated their claims that they had gone to Phuket on business, but the Goa government essentially making a very strong case in court, saying that they were attempting to evade arrest and evading responsibility.
Luthra brothers are now going to be dragged back to India. A confirmation coming in from Goa Chief Minister, who spoke a short while back, stating that Goa Police, along with the Central Bureau of Investigation, will be bringing back Luthra brothers. In fact, Delhi court has rejected the anticipatory bail plea of Luthras, where they essentially were arguing that they were in Thailand for a business trip, and they would be cooperating with the agencies. Let me go across to Shambhavi, who is joining us from outside Rohini Court. Shambhavi, what transpired in the court? On what grounds have the bail been rejected?
See, around 4 major arguments were made, including yesterday and today. One was Luthra brothers escaping for business engagement and not because they wanted to abscond, and that was clearly not entertained by the court because we know that the anticipatory bail plea has been rejected. The other were the medical grounds that both the Luthra brothers, be it Saurav Luthra suffering from seizures, and Gaurav Luthra has some neuro issue. Again, that was not entertained by the court because the counsel for the state of Goa argued that the medicines for both were prescribed without the presence of the patient, which means that it's not that serious of a health issue. The third one was that both the brothers, they just are license holders and they don't participate in the day-to-day operations of all the properties. So they will, of course, aid in the investigation with the authorities, but they're not to be blamed in this entire matter. And the fourth and the most important one was raised by the Luthra brothers, and that they want to come back to India, they want to participate, they want to help the authorities in investigating the matters and also the families of the deceased, but they are scared that once they come back, they'll be lynched and that the properties will be set ablaze. But again, as we clearly see from the rejection of the anticipatory bail, the transit anticipatory bail of both the Luthra brothers, the court clearly did not entertain any of these reasons or arguments that were made by Luthra brothers, and finally a lot was dependent on this order by the Rohini court, and now we have the final order, which is rejection of the anticipatory bail. Back to you.
We'll also try and go across to a reporter in Goa, Swarali, because I'm given to understand that this is moving quite fast with Goa police now perhaps taking the call of sending the team as soon as possible. In fact, as we speak, Luthra brothers are still being questioned at the immigration office in Phuket. We've got the latest images coming in a short while back from Phuket, where they're still being questioned. Goa Chief Minister a short while back spoke to media persons where he's essentially indicated that following the high-level meeting that they've essentially had, they believe that custodial interrogation of the Luthra brothers becomes extremely crucial at this point in time. There are allegations that have been leveled against Luthra brothers, particularly about the nightclub that was being run by them. There are violations, there are CRZ violations that have come to the fore. These are allegations that have been leveled against the Luthra brothers, and that is the reason why custodial interrogation becomes extremely crucial. You've also had the legal counsel of Goa government arguing in the court, saying that there is no business intention that they had. This was not a business trip that they had in Thailand, but they essentially wanted to evade the investigation. Let me also bring in my colleague Swarali, who's joining us on this broadcast. Swarali, any confirmation by when are we to expect the Goa police team to leave for Phuket?
The time is yet to be uncertain, but the CM Pramod Sawant has said that in short while team of Goa police will leave for Thailand. On the other hand, we are checking in that in the court bail application has been rejected by the court, and we all know that right now they're present in the immigration office of Thailand, wherein they are still interrogated and documents are being checked. But the CM and all the other authorities in the Goa administration have informed us that strict action will be taken as soon as Luthra brothers land in India. On the other hand, the deportation process, which is all the norms are supposed to be followed, is ongoing. And CM also appreciated the work of Goa police as in to take quick steps and action. As we all know that FIR was registered, post that a lookout notice was released, and when they got to know that Luthra brothers are on a plea at that time, immediately after the intervention of Interpol, a blue corner notice was also released in a major breakthrough update and success for administration and Goa police and the central agencies. Currently, Luthra brothers are in the custody of Royal Thai Police.
Swarali, I'll request you to stay on with us as I'm going to just quickly take our viewers through all the latest details that we have in this particular case. Let's also pull out the latest images that have come in from Phuket, from the immigration center where Luthra brothers are still present. Indian embassy officials are also present there. Questioning is still going on of Luthra brothers. In fact, there were certain reports emerging that there is a possibility that after the provisional arrest request that went in from India, that they would have been deported immediately, but it seems that that has now been delayed. Reports also coming in from the ground that there's a possibility that they could be taken to Bangkok and thereafter from there to India is what we are picking up, and that possibly could actually take place by tomorrow. I'll go back to my colleague Shambhavi, who is joining us on this broadcast. Shambhavi, as far as the investigation goes, Delhi police as well as Goa police maintains that on the day when the searches were carried out, his wife and mother were present at the house, and they've told the police that they did not know about the whereabouts.
Right, just the other day when the Goa police reached the Luthra brothers' residence in Delhi, they were met with the mother and the wife of the Luthra brothers, and when asked about the whereabouts, they said that they are not aware of it, contrary to what the Luthra brothers have maintained in the court till now, that there were some prior engagements led them to Phuket, and when questioned regarding the timing, the convenient timing of them booking the ticket, which is just a couple of hours later when the incident happened, which is around 1:17 a.m. in the morning, they said that they are very frequent travelers and they're trying to establish a restaurant in Phuket, and they even raised this point that they're trying to establish this restaurant in Phuket and they will be employing Indians for that. So is that something that they should be punished for? Now, this was the argument that was raised. And again, when asked about the contact details of the Luthra brothers by their mothers and wives, they maintained that they don't have any information regarding the number, their contact information or where they're staying and other details. So clearly the family was of no help, and which is contrary to the argument which is maintained by the Luthra brothers end in the court today as well as yesterday.
Shambhavi, I'll request you to stay on with us. If we can just pull out the visuals, that's the latest now coming in also, rather than just staying with what we are doing right now. We'll just quickly take you through a recap of what we know so far in terms of the investigation that has been carried out. Some damning allegations that have been leveled against the Luthra brothers, and this entire argument that was made by the legal counsel of Luthra brothers in the court that this was because of a business trip that they had to go to Thailand seems to have been completely punctured by the defense counsel here. In fact, what we are given to understand is that they have essentially been able to prove the fact that just 2 hours after the fire broke out, it seems that they had already decided to leave the country. Shifting focus now to the other big story that we are getting it from the Parliament, as the winter session of the Parliament is ongoing right now. A major controversy has broken out. Exchanges between the Treasury and the opposition benches, where the BJP has now accused a Trinamool parliamentarian of smoking an e-cigarette inside the Lok Sabha premises. BJP parliamentarian Anurag Thakur raised the issue without naming the Trinamool leader and urged the Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla to take note of the violation.
एक सर मैं व्यवस्था को लेकर आपसे सवाल पूछना चाहता हूं। देश भर में
एक मिनट, माननीय सदस्य मुझसे सवाल नहीं पूछ सकते।
नहीं सर, आपसे आग्रह करने वाला,
आग्रह कर सकते हो,
आपसे आग्रह कर
सर भी ढंग से
बिल्कुल सर, हाथ जोड़ के आपसे पूछ सर सदन की जानकारी के लिए है सर, देश भर में ई सिगरेट बैन हो चुकी है, क्या सदन में आपने अलाउ कर दी है?
नहीं, कोई माननीय सदस्य को कोई भी
सर टीएमसी के सांसद पी रहे हैं सर टीएमसी के सांसद सर कई दिनों से लगातार बैठ के पी रहे हैं सर।
कोई भी मान्य
टीएमसी के सांसद
एक
पी रहे हैं
मिनट व्यवस्था
सर।
दे रहा हूं।
नहीं सर, आप चेक करवाइए सर।
एक मिनट व्यवस्था दे रहा हूं।
सर सदन में अगर सिगरेट पीना अलाउ कर दिया है।
एक मिनट प्लीज। मैं सभी मान्य सदस्यों से पुनः आग्रह करता हूं, हमें संसदीय परंपराओं और संसदीय नियमों का अनुपालन करना चाहिए। कोई भी मान्य सदस्य कभी भी ऐसा कोई विषय मेरे पास आएगा तो निश्चित रूप से इस पर मैं निश्चित रूप से कार्रवाई करेंगे।
पार्लियामेंट जिसको हम लोकतंत्र का मंदिर मानते हैं, वहां पर ई सिगरेट लाना ये तो कानून के खिलाफ है। आप कानून के रक्षक है तो कानून के भक्षक पार्लियामेंट में कैसे बन सकते हैं? उसको कंज्यूम करना तो पार्लियामेंट के रूल्स के खिलाफ है कि आप पार्लियामेंट की इस प्रकार से तौहीन नहीं कर सकते। पब्लिकली स्मोक करना ये तो कानून है देश का, नहीं कर सकते। पार्लियामेंट में तो कतई नहीं कर सकते, हाउस के अंदर तो कतई नहीं कर सकते। पर इन तीनों चीजों का उल्लंघन टीएमसी के एक सांसद करते हैं, और इसी के बारे में बड़े दुख के साथ, बड़े दर्द के साथ अनुराग ठाकुर जी ने स्पीकर को अवगत कराया, जिस पर संज्ञान लेते हुए स्पीकर ने भी कहा कि यह पूर्ण तरीके से गलत है, इसके ऊपर पूर्ण जांच होगी, इन्वेस्टिगेट होगा। तो आज सवाल टीएमसी से बनता है कि जब प्रथम दृष्टया इतनी बड़ी घटना हुई है तो क्या वो इस प्रकार की नेगेटिव कीर्ति स्थापित करने वाले अपने सांसद पर समय रहते ही स्वतः कार्रवाई करेंगे या स्पीकर के कार्रवाई का इंतजार करेंगे? क्योंकि आप तो कहते हैं आप तो संविधान के बड़े रक्षक हैं, आंबेडकर जी के बड़े प्रशंसक हैं। तो आंबेडकर जी द्वारा संविधान के तहत लोकतंत्र का जो मंदिर है उसकी मर्यादा की बार बार अवहेलना करने का जो इतना बड़ा अपराध कर रहे हैं, ऐसे अपराधियों पर क्या कार्रवाई टीएमसी करेगी?
Trinamool Congress parliamentarian Dola Sen on allegations regarding puffing e-cigarettes in the Lok Sabha said that those who are in charge of monitoring discipline in the House will be looking into it. So there is no denial really coming in from the Trinamool Congress on this entire issue.
हम क्यों कहेंगे? ये देखना जिसका काम है वो देखेंगे।
लेकिन आपकी पार्टी के सांसदों पर आरोप लग रहा है।
हम फिर बोल रहे हैं, देखिए तृणमूल, वो आपको पता होगा 2021 पे अब की बार 200 पार बोल के मोदी बाबू हार गए, तो वो गुस्सा अभी तक नहीं गए। क्या किया जाएगा? पैसा बंद, खाना बंद, नौकरी बंद, सब कुछ बंद, और उसके साथ साथ मंत्री लोगों ने सदन में आके असत्य भाषण भी बोलने लगा। बहुत अनफॉर्चुनेट है, बोलने दीजिए। फिर हम बोलते हैं कि कोई भी इनडिसिप्लिन होगा तो उसका संभालने के लिए संसद का एक तरीका है, डिसिप्लिन है। अनुराग ठाकुर कोई गुरु ठाकुर नहीं है, वो बोलेंगे हम मान जाएंगे।
सदन के अंदर आरोप लगाया कि टीएमसी के सांसद जो है
सिगरेट वो मैं नहीं जानता हूँ, आई डोंट नो अबाउट इट।
India's humanitarian mission in Sri Lanka after the cyclone Luthra has entered a decisive phase. The Indian Army's medical team operating under Operation Sagar Bandhu has treated more than 5,000 patients in just the first 48 hours. Lieutenant Colonel Jagneet Gill, contingent commander of the Indian Army team deployed in Sri Lanka, underscores the collaborative nature of the mission and the shared commitment of both the nations. Take a look at this detailed report.
The first 48 hours after Cyclone Luthra caused destruction in Sri Lanka, Indian Army treated more than 5,000 patients. India's relief effort in Sri Lanka following Cyclone Luthra has moved into a critical stage now. Under Operation Sagar Bandhu, the Indian Army's medical contingent has already provided care to multiple people who were left injured. The Indian Army contingent, led by Lieutenant Colonel Jagneet Gill, set up a fully equipped mobile hospital in the flood-ravaged district of Trincomalee.
Well, the key facilities that were established by this hospital really depended on the fact that what were the facilities that were already available in this hospital. So the other hospital which has been non-functional, we were basically looking at facilities like the operation theatre, the dental section, the X-ray and the lab facilities. So we have been able to create these facilities. Other than that, we have also been able to create OPDs, which was the hour of the need. So we have been able to create the surgical OPD, the ortho OPD, the dental OPD, as well as family OPD. So we've been able to provide assistance to almost around 5,000, more than 5,000 patients.
The team's priority was to bring immediate, life-saving care to those cut off by the floods, as per Lieutenant Colonel Gill.
Well, the new age technology that we had deployed this time was that we had surveillance drones which were very, very important to find the layout of the hospital and really helped us to establish it much faster. The other was the HVAC tents which were deployed to create OT in a minimum time. And also, since the layout of the hospital required us that the labs and the facilities for blood collection were far apart, so we could actually use the logistic drones to carry out lab samples and blood samples to the labs, and we could actually enhance our speed and we could get results much faster.
Within 24 hours, the team upgraded a previously non-functional healthcare center. The Indian Army installed an operational theatre, digital X-ray and a fully stocked laboratory in the health center. In addition, they opened OPDs for surgery, dentistry and family health, ensuring a comprehensive package of care. This came as major boost and upgrade to the existing medical infrastructure in Sri Lanka. Cyclone Luthra made landfall on the eastern coast on 28 November, dumping more than 500 mm of rain in 48 hours. The resulting floods submerged 1.1 million hectares, which is roughly 20% of the island's landmass. 2.3 million people were directly exposed to waterborne hazards. The destruction was immense. $720,000 buildings were inundated, including 243 health facilities and hundreds of schools. In addition to the medical push, India dispatched 4 more naval vessels to deliver essential relief supplies. Food, water, medicines and shelter kits were provided. The vessels have also provided logistical support for the evacuation of vulnerable civilians.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरी राजा, राजा और प्योर मसाला।
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
भाई मेरा बेटी को प्यार चाहिए, मेरा बेटी का ब्लड आ रहा, ब्लड नीचे से ब्लड आ रहा, प्यार चाहिए, दे दो। क्यों नहीं कर सकता? क्यों नहीं कर सकता? क्यों नहीं कर सकता? मेरे को प्यार चाहिए अभी।
That we have experienced severe operational disruptions for the past few days. Since then, the crisis continued to aggravate, with today, December 5th, being the most severely impacted day, with the number of cancellations well over 1,000, or more than half of our number of daily flights.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी। आर प्योर।
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
भाई मेरा बेटी को प्यार चाहिए, मेरा बेटी का ब्लड आ रहा, ब्लड नीचे से ब्लड आ रहा, प्यार चाहिए, दे दो। क्यों नहीं कर सकता, क्यों नहीं कर सकता, क्यों नहीं कर सकता, मेरे को प्यार चाहिए अभी।